hills of Lexington, Ohio, where the track winds like a serpent through the heart of the Midwest. This is the legendary Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. 13 turns, 2.4 miles, and one of the most technically demanding battlegrounds in American road racing. With perfect weather on tap and full fields in both the TA and TA2 classes, today's racing promises edge-of-your-seat drama. Veterans and rising stars alike will trade paint and test their limits through the notorious carousel and the high-speed straights. Every corner offers a challenge. Every lap is a chance to rise or fall. And today, every driver aims to leave their mark in Ohio. This is the Trans Am Racing Series, presented by Pirelli. There's a breeze blowing, but it's a hot day here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in Lexington, Ohio, as the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli gets ready to go racing live right now on Speed Sport 1. Great to have you with us, I should say, as we get set to go racing here. Ralph Sheheen and Andy Lally with you. Andy, this is a racetrack that you've spent a lot of time teaching at and racing at. It's extremely technically challenging.
I've been here in sports cars, prototypes, touring cars, GT cars, NASCAR, everything in between for the last 30 years. This is a great event, a great track, challenging in so many different ways, and these guys with a good, clean track and great temperatures today are going to have a ball out here, and we're going to see some good racing. And
we're going to make a little bit of history here today. The champion from 1985, Wally Dallenbach Jr., won here in that championship season, is now retiring, stepping out of the cockpit.
His final race, 65 Trans Am races, 13 wins. This is his final day, along with John Cloud, legendary team owner in the series. They're saying farewell here at Mid-Ohio. He's 8th on the grid. Going to be looking forward. Going to try to finish this one out with a trophy and get on that podium here today.
Yeah, in talking to Wally about it, he says, my back is bugging me a little bit, my hip a little bit. I got to get some things fixed by the doc. He said, yeah, it's my last race, but classic Wally Dallenbach style, never say never.
Absolutely.
Never know. He might find his way back.
He's
going to
be
body
charging
starts
to the
feeling
front,
better.
For sure. When you get one last shot, you want to give it your all there, and for sure, Wally's that type of spirit. The same with John Cloud. That they're going to want to close the door on this chapter with success.
Best spot to make a pass here.
Into turn 4, hands down. Maybe if you get a good run out of turn 1, but that's tricky with any aerodynamic, dependent cars in this day and age here. 1 is really fast, so your uphill brake zone into the keyhole is definitely probably your second best, but into turn 4 after that long downhill run, it's an extended brake zone down there. These cars with no ABS, it's tricky to modulate those, not locking up that right front tire in there, and that for sure will be where a lot of our action is today.
Paul Menard, as you take a look at Kaylee Bryson there signing some autographs. Paul Menard is not on the pole today, but he is the points leader coming into the round, and he is hot right now.
He is on our pole. Matty Brabs just short of Paul's last year's record, outside pole here. And with our normal contingent of front runners, Adam Andretti P3, Chris Dyson hot on their tails. The 4 of them were really bunched, with Tommy Dreesy not close behind in 5th place there too.
There you see Paul Menard on the outside of row number 1 next to Matt Brabham. We had a chance to sit down with Paul and catch up with the points leader coming into Mid-Ohio.
I don't really think about what other guys are doing, but I've got more laps in a race car than anybody else in the field. Just through the NASCAR stuff, I've been in so many different situations and thousands of miles driven. So, it's very rare that I see something that I haven't seen before. But our whole field is very experienced too. Chris, Adam, Tommy, Amy, they've been around a long time. They've been doing this a long time. They know. They know when to push, when not to push, and I'm much newer to this style of racing than they are. But overall, I just have thousands more laps and miles than they do, and it kind of equals itself out. We can't be dumb. In order to race competitively, you can't let off the throttle. So obviously you have to do it in the right pick and choose your battles, right circumstances, be smart, but yeah, we're fully here to not run second, not run third. We want to win the race, and no reason why we can't.
Andy, what do you really like about the way Paul's driving right now?
It's just championship form. You know, it's eye on the prize. They've had one little hiccup at Road Atlanta where they had a left front flat going into turn 6 there. Other than that, he's been on point, no mistakes. A little bit of a bobble maybe at Laguna Seca. I forgot about that one, but it's focused forward, and he's doing well and opening up a good gap for this championship.
Well, he's got 100 miles to stretch that points lead out here today as well, right? Speed Sport 1 is going to be coming back live to Mid-Ohio right after these messages as we get ready to go green.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Well, earlier in the weekend, it was wet and a little chilly around here. Very wet on Friday. Today and tomorrow is going to be in the 90s and bone dry, Andy.
This is definitely going to be a little bit of a different track than what they've had. We've been warming up here. It's been a typical evolving Mid-Ohio track here for these guys.
Well, down in the midst of all those race fans is our Ben Sissel, who's going to give us a grid walk. Take it away, Ben.
I'm down here. This is kind of a historic moment here for the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. I'm with the grid walk. So we all know Chaz Howe and his genius kind of invented the whole TA2 platform, which has absolutely taken off. Well, this offseason in the last couple years, he's told his son Charlie, hey, you should kind of invent something. So Charlie has worked with these drivers here to invent this new GT car, the HR6. So I'm going to ask you, Mr. Rinke, come in here. So Jack is driving it. Your son is driving this car. You're in this car over here. But just a quick explanation of what these beautiful HR6s are.
So the platform obviously is a proven platform that Howe is developed. They have many years experience with it. We work with the GM platform and the engine quite often, so we chose to use the LV1 V6, and it's a dry sump engine. There's some valve train modifications, camshaft, and forced air induction. This platform is about 400 horsepower. Car comes in about 2,700 pounds. In all of our testing, we've had extremely good results. It's a wonderful car to race. I will say this, between Chaz, Jack, Charlie, and I, we have had just a wonderful experience building this car. And comparing our notes, we all achieved our goal, and we're very happy with the outcome in the last couple test sessions.
Nice. Well, if it's anything like the Howes, this group is going to grow very quick. I believe there's 5 cars available. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's cars and what we call system fill. So we clearly anticipate that there'll be a series, if not here, in some other locations. Very desirable car, very fun car for people to race, and we're just really looking forward to getting it up and running.
Nice. I love it. I love it. So Rich is in the white car. Jack Rinke is in this beautiful blue car, and then Todd Naparowski, who's also a long-timer with us. And it was funny because I was asking our former SGT champion, Lee Saunders, back there to corral you guys. So he's working as a producer. But Todd is actually up front here in this beautiful car. How would you describe this? Because I know you've raced just about anything.
Yeah, going from the Camaros to this has been a wonderful experience. A true tube chassis car with a sequential. It's a a smaller chassis. It's really responsive. I like the way it handles, it turns in, and it's been a fabulous experience.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, watch out for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Tim Gray here, long time with us. He's running SGT with Ryan. Tim was a big part of bringing Trans Am out to Brainerd a couple of years ago, which was always a fantastic event. Then here's Colin Cohen in GT. But Austin Hill, who's just done a few events with us in XGT in this red Corvette. Don't confuse him with Amy Ruman, but this beautiful number 0. Welcome back to Trans Am. How's it feel?
It feels good. Thank you guys for having us again here at Mid-Ohio. Home track for us, so we're really hoping to have a good showing today. Had a couple problems, I guess, in practice qualifying. Only got a lap or 2 in each one, but at the end of the day, I think we're ready for the race, so I think we'll be able to get through it.
Nice. Well, Austin Hill in this little red Corvette. We love it. Ray Mason is out here. Ray Mason has raced in absolutely everything. He's with Alliance Motorsports. John Mills has been with us all the time, but where's your driver, John?
He is, I'm not sure where he is right now.
Ray! Well, we've got to move on, but thank you guys so much for coming out. Like I said, he's been racing over 50 years. Then in GT, Chris Coffey, last year's champion. He's got a few more GTs than he's used to on track. And then we haven't Kaylee Bryson in a long time. She did move up this year to XGT. Your friend Josh Carlson was looking for you out west, but you're back here with us. How's it feeling to be back in Mid-Ohio with better weather than last year?
Yeah, I'm just really happy that the sun's out and we've got some warmer weather, ready to go race. It's been 3 months since I've been in this car, so I'm feeling a little rusty, but ready to get back in and go for 45 laps.
Nice, nice. Well, love it. Kaylee Bryson out here. Now, somebody kind of new maybe. He's running the TA2 series with us. There isn't another driver on this track for this race that has more laps here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. A local, Aaron Quine, but a new car to you. You haven't run these monsters before.
Nope, first time, Ben. Very thankful to Pancho Weaver. Built an awesome car. We've got we got a lot of sponsors on board today, so without them, we wouldn't be able to do this. Been here for 35 years racing, but first time in this guy, so we're looking forward to try and move up a little bit.
Nice. Hey, I just hit your mirror, so make sure it's still where it needs to go. Sorry, Pancho. I'm out here beating up cars. John DeGainer is out here in this beautiful Ron Fellows car. We have two-time Trans Am champion Wally Dallenbach Jr. here, but at our home track, this is going to be the one, Amy. This is going to be the one. I know you've had some bad luck here. The Amy Army is here, but the weather is great. You're going to have a great weekend here. How's it feel to be back at your home in Mid-Ohio?
Oh man, we're super excited. We have all the Valley Automotive Group people here today. Brian O'Donnell's out with us, and so we're excited. The sun's shining. We should have a better race than we did last year. We're looking to move forward. Got some things sorted out yesterday after qualifying, and we're looking to have a great race in this McNichols Valley Automotive Group Chevrolet Corvette.
I love it. I love it. Hey, and tell Valley Automotive I need a new truck, so I'm going to be coming to them to get a new truck. We got to move up here pretty quick. So we've got Tommy Dreese here with Trent Shoring. Awesome car. David Penterick from Youngstown, Ohio, right here in the Captain America car. Love having David Penterick in it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to kind of pause a little bit. We've got a Dyson. We have an Andretti. We have a Menard of Paul Menard, and then Matthew Brabham. I mean, talk about some automotive just royalty here in the house. I'm looking for Matt Brabham right here. Here he is. He's over here talking to Andretti, which is the second time that's happened this season. So on pole, you took a picture with your dog. Yeah, sorry, just move you out of here, Andretti. Sorry about that. But how's it feel to be on pole here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, which you won in 2020? 2023.
Yeah, just elbow the Andretti out of the way there. Why not? But no, yeah, it feels great. I mean, obviously, I got a really good lap in there. It's super cool to have the track record here. But, you know, it's all down to the Chris Dyson racing crew. The guys and girls of the team there gave me a great car. And yeah, it's going to be a long, hot day today. Chris is starting off P4. I think Chris's car is really good at the end of the race. My car should be quite good in the beginning. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I mean, and then obviously we got Adam and Paul Menard in between us that are going to cause all kinds of havoc. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. I'm just going to go out there and try and go as fast as I can, and hopefully I have something at the end.
Nice. I love it. Well, Matthew Brabham, we know he's really fast here. Ralph, Andy, I'm going to send it back up to you guys in the booth.
All right, Ben, thanks. Everybody getting ready to go. Yeah, Matt Brabham grabbing the pole, setting a track record, bettering Paul Menard's time from 2024. Adam Andretti up there in the front as well, Andy. He's going to be starting in that second row. 100th career start today.
That is something. That's 100 across the board between TA2 and TA. Victories in both of those classes, tons of podiums, obviously a ton of experience, and a great name to lend to our TA championship. And not just his 100th start, but you know he's iron. He wants to win that number 100 here. He's just 20 points out of the lead right here on Menard's tail, and that's the nice thing to reflect on a little bit maybe here on the 100th. But his, I know inside Adam's head, all he's thinking about is that championship lead and trying to win this one.
Yeah, he's extremely hungry right now. The 21st driver to reach the 100 career start mark in Trans Am. Congratulations to Adam Andretti. We had a chance to discuss with Adam about the legacy of being an Andretti, but also a 100th career start.
TA2 was my first opportunity into the Trans Am Series with ECC Motorsports and the Hendrickson family, and it was a very exciting class to come into and help build and be a part of, and that was really super special. But the target's always been on the TA class. The cars are just amazing to drive, and again, with ECC, I was fortunate enough that they bought more TA cars and the whole bit, and I won my first TA race with ECC Motorsports, and that was super, super special in the Dodge out at Circuit of the Americas at the end of the 2019 season. So, and, you know, the TA cars have always been a target. It was from the time I was young. I wanted to drive TA cars because it was such a special car to drive. It was such a fantastically fun car to drive, and then you could see that. And for me personally, when I was young, IndyCar was of course a goal or a target, but I was a 6-foot-tall Andretti, and my whole family was making fun of me. Like, if you want to drive race cars, you're better look at Trans Am. They're really the only thing you're going to fit in. So kind of inadvertently, I put it in my subconscious. But this is always a place I wanted to be too, because no Andretti has ever competed in Trans Am. And it's very hard in my family to go ahead and kind of lay your own groundwork for yourself in a series. And the opportunity presented itself in this series. And I've had an awesome career here. So I find myself really, really blessed. And like, God put me right where He wanted me. I love the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. This place will always have a special place in my heart. Early on in my karting career, ran a go-kart race here. And then I had the awesome opportunity around 2007, I came here and spent 4 years as an instructor at the Mid-Ohio School. I still say it's the best driving school you're going to find in the country. Not only because the track is so technical, the instructors, the quality of instructors that they get here are absolutely amazing, and their teen school is really the teen school that everyone models their teen schools after. It was definitely a highlight of my life to spend 4 years here and work with the people at the school. They're all still my close friends. Sonny G, the general manager of the school, is one of my closest friends. Tommy Byrne, one of their instructors. Brian Till. I mean, the names go on and on. Aaron Quine is going to be running with us this weekend, and he's an instructor there. It's a quality place to go learn how to drive. So yeah, spent a lot of time on these grounds. They're beautiful grounds. They're well maintained. There's an energy about this place, and then when you drive it, it kind of falls into the theme of, if you drive the country roads around here, it feels like you're on one of those old country roads, and you're the only one that knows the best place around it, and it's pretty special to be here. So yeah, we make our 100 start. I get to make my 100 start as a competitor in the Trans Am Series, and I would have never thought that I would have racked up 100 starts. I mean, that's a dream come true in a big way. And first and foremost, you think about all the people that got you here, and that's countless amount of people to thank. But as far as inside this series and inside this accomplishment, first and foremost, my wife Tabitha, and the support that I get at home from her is second to none, and that's where it all starts. Like, if you don't have that support at home, it's really hard to come out here and even get any kind of longevity in something like this. So the Hendrickson family, ECC Motorsports, are the ones that brought me into Trans Am and gave me a lot of those starts. I would say, I'm guessing, I haven't looked at the breakdown, about 50-60% of those starts have got to be with ECC Motorsports. But not just them. Dyson Racing, CD Racing has given me a couple of starts. Peterson Racing, I ran with them for a very long time. John Cloud, this is his last weekend as a team owner, and John Cloud gave me a lot of races as well to come out here. Ken Twaits, another guy. So I think about all these people, and then, obviously Claudio Burton and Burton Racing, and who I've been driving for the last 2 years. So the only thing I ever prayed for as a kid growing up is I just want to make my living driving a race car, and God has certainly provided that, and all those people played a role in that, and I am eternally thankful for each and every one of them, and for getting me to this point in my career, because I would have never thought I'd hit a century mark with any series. My personal Adam Andretti legacy is here in the Trans Am Series, and I'm 100% at peace with that. It's a wonderful place to leave a legacy. This is the oldest road racing series in the United States of America, founded in 1966. Anything that's got this kind of legs to it, you're blessed to be a part of that history. It was told to me today there's only 21 drivers in the history of Trans Am, and I got to think there's tens of thousands of drivers that have come through Trans Am over the history of it. Only 21 drivers have reached this milestone of 100 starts. So yeah, I'll just keep adding to that, and that'll continue to be my legacy. And as long as my phone keeps ringing to come drive these great race cars, I'm going to come drive these great race cars. But even after my time with the helmet is done in the Trans Am Series, I see myself being a part of this series for a long time. I love it. I believe in it. I think the people in it are very special, and I want to be a part of that no matter what. So I don't see me leaving anytime soon. The helmet may come off, but I'll still be here.
Well, as part of those 100 starts, Adam has 8 wins in the big TA cars. He also has a win here, Andy, in TA2 right here at Mid-Ohio.
He's obviously been very fast everywhere he goes, but obviously a special place, Mid-Ohio.
Well, let's go down for opening ceremonies. Down onto the grid, here's Ben Sissel.
Yeah, thank you. I'm here with my friend Marvin Gray, Road Race Ministries, who got hooked onto Trans Am right here at his home track of Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course in 1967. He's been hooked ever since, been a Mustang guy his whole life. To deliver our invocation, Marvin, take it away.
Let us pray. Oh, Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to be here in the beauty of your creation. I'm blessed to be back here again since 1967. And Lord, now we pray for your blessing and protection for each and every one who's a part of our event this weekend, for our drivers, our crew, the staff, the officials, the track workers, all that are a part of making this happen, and a special blessing on our fans. Thank you for being here. And Lord, now we are here because of the sacrifices of our troops and safety forces, emergency workers. So we pray your blessing and protection on them, both those that are here now and those that have served us in the past. And Lord, we pray for the end of the senseless violence around the world. In your name we pray, Lord Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Marvin, thank you so much. I hope this is a great race. Nikki Dunford, I've heard a lot of great things about you to deliver the national anthem. Nikki, take it away.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we fought. were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flight was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, well done. Nice job getting closer to firing up the engines and getting this race underway. I want to show you a little bit of what Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course looks like, and nobody better to do that than Andy Lally. So let's get on board with him.
We are pulling on track to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, one of the longest running road courses in the nation. Very smooth exit out of pit lane here, not too dangerous. You blend offline, which is really nice, unlike a lot of tracks that we run on in North America here. Nice and easy out of pit lane here, up to the keyhole. A very late braking, uphill, early turn in, double apex corner, where we typically in the TA2 cars are going to be braking about the 250 marker. A slight early turn in, and typically with a corner this tight you're going to understeer a bit in these cars, so we're going to use some of that apex curb, let it out in the middle, pause just enough as we fall off like a 2-foot little cliff right in the middle of the corner, let the car point as we launch down the longest straightaway that we have here, which is coming down to turn 4. It's downhill the whole way, so your top speed is actually pretty decent here. TA2 cars are well over 150 miles an hour. TA cars are upwards of 175 miles an hour. Very, very friendly curbing at Mid-Ohio. Most of the curbs, except for turn 1 and turn 13, are extremely usable. You sacrifice a little bit of exit out of turn 5 to set yourself up back to the left side for the entrance to turn 6. Charging into Thunder Valley, all the weight's on the left side, and we're off camber, and we got to gently get on the brakes, turn it in a little bit early, use again a lot of that curbing coming up to turn 11 here. It's just a little bit of a brake, one downshift here. Our apex is right at the beginning of the curb, and we're looking to get right back on throttle, use up all the exit, and we're not going to get back over to the left for the carousel, which is our final corner coming just before the kink coming on in the straightaway here. We'll actually brake at the inside, kind of cover our inside from attack, let it out a little bit in the middle, just maybe 3/4 of a car width. Be patient here. Let the car get through that slow, tight corner point and pull the trigger one time to come onto a very easy, flat, last little bend / kink before the start-finish line to take that checker flag and finish our lap at Mid-Ohio.
And a very technically demanding race circuit here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, as you just saw. And we'll get deeper into that once the racing gets underway. But before we can go green, we got to fire up those engines, Ben.
Thank you very much. I'm down here with Mike Cantrell. You can see Next Gen there. What is it, the most powerful
detailing products ever made?
Nice. I love it. And I know that you've been at a few of these events. I've seen Next Gen on some of these beautifully polished cars. Tell us how we can get some Next Gen stuff.
Listen, I tell you what, there is nothing better than a great race unless the cars look fantastic too. And we're glad to be along for the ride on every one of these Next Gen cars. And if you want to pick some up, all you have to do is go to getnextgen.com. Podium, and you can get yours today.
Nice, I love it. We've had a great car show here this weekend. Were you out talking to some of those drivers like, hey man, if you want your car to look a little better, remove some of those swirl marks, how do we get some of these products?
Yeah, so we go out to the car shows. At every one of these events, we give out free samples. If you're one of the Speed Tour car show folks, you're going to be able to grab a free sample while you're here. And obviously those samples are going to have a QR code that takes you to a special link where you can get 40% off as a Speed Tour family member.
Nice, and I know it's been a lot of hustle for you to stay here. So take the mic and deliver the most famous words in motorsports for me.
Drivers, start your engines.
And those big V8s pumping out 900 horsepower, roaring to life here in Mid-Ohio. We are moments away from rolling off the grid and going green. You will see it all live right here today on Speed Sport 1. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Yes. Hon, the WeatherTech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser measured floor liners, no drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race-proven and street legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Back here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, Ralph Sheheen and Andy Lally with you, and joining us now, the man who's second in the TA2 points, Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Championship, also presented by Pirelli, Thomas Annunziata. Thomas, great to have you with us.
Yeah, thanks. I'm super excited for this race. This should be really fun.
So out of the three of us, you're the last one to be on the racetrack, so tell us what it's like out there.
Well, first of all, it's pretty close to 100 degrees this weekend, so track's super slick. Greasy. It's a one-line racetrack. The track itself is hard to pass on because there aren't long braking zones, but that could invite some door-to-door banging and some wheel-to-wheel racing.
We were talking off the air a little bit. You've got some Formula car experience. You've got some touring car experience. You raced here last year in the TA2 series. We were also talking about the difficulty of what you just mentioned. You kind of got one line from turn 4 to Thunder Valley there. So you've got a lot of back and forth, a lot of parts on this course that you're not even full throttle, just kind of managing there. Last year we saw a lot of action there. Where do you think our pressure points, our difficulty points, our points where these guys are going to have to watch out for the potential mayhem are?
Well, first off, turn 1 and this race is super important. All the drivers know that it's going to be tough to pass. So if they could gain any positions at all in turn 1, they're going to go for it. I think after that, it's going to settle down a little bit. They're going to try to save their stuff, but this track really invites what stock car racing is all about. You got to use the front bumper and move some guys out of the way if it gets to that point. So I think we're going to see some exciting racing here. Yeah, I think it should be really fun.
Well, Andy's already taken us for a lap, but now let's take you around graphically and show you what this place looks like. Beginning as you come down out of the carousel across the start-finish line, headed towards Mission Foods turn number 1. Very fast corner, Andy.
Uphill entry that sort of plateaus. It's a quick kind of 90-mile-an-hour minimum speed, but you're 110 miles an hour before you're even on the exit, and you're flying uphill to a pretty steep braking zone on entry. Turn 2, our Cube 3 turn 2 here, what we call the keyhole.
Yeah, and then Thomas, it's a very, very fast section from here. Downhill, quickly through the bend at 3. Great passing point here at 4.
Yes, that will be the second hard braking zone where you can make a lot of the moves happen, and then the rest of this stuff is very flowy. You have to nail the corners in order to nail the rest of the track to save tires. And in order to catch someone and make a move through that section, you got to hope the guy in front of you makes a mistake or pressure them into a mistake, and you can really get them all flying everywhere else.
And we are racing here, and off goes one car already. Is that Andretti? And then Paterick goes around. No, that was Menard.
Oh my gosh.
The green comes out on the back straightaway here. Paterick gets spun. That car back first time after the big crash at Sonoma.
Obviously, we've got Matty Brabs that was able to squeeze through that hole. Chris avoided most of that, and Tommy Dreese as well, but we definitely had some drama into turn 4 there with Menard. Made it through the gravel trap and safely back on. Who knows what's in his radiators right now. Obviously, with the grass fairly tall here and in abundance, you clog that radiator up and you're going to be worried about overheating here.
That's not the way Andretti wanted to start his 100th race. Unfortunately, I believe he is on the racetrack in 6th. He's making a move on Pancho Weaver's car right now. Let's see if he can make a comeback.
Amy Ruman. Look at the Corvette here. Flapping bodywork. We saw her hard on the brakes going into 4, and she's got some bodywork damage. Boy, this is her home track. Amy is so fast here, and she's had lots of bad luck here.
Yeah, it is. She's had so many championships and so many wins at other places, but like you said, never won at her home track. It's kind of that home track jinx, unfortunately, where it involves Amy. And I'm sorry, I said Menard. It was Andretti that took that trip through the gravel right there. These guys sort themselves out now. Aaron Quine involved in the middle of that mix. He stayed clean through there, and our front 3 breaking away here.
And Amy just gets around Quine, and she's now moved up to 4th.
Andretti's fast, guys. He's already passed one of the drivers, and he's on Menard's tail. If we go back to what I said, turn 1 is exactly where you need to get those positions, and it looked like everyone was super aggressive, but luckily, again, Andretti is back on the racetrack. Looks like everyone got back on the racetrack, and he's fast. He just needs one caution. He'll be back in this thing.
Matty Brabs comfortably in control by a 2.5 seconds, but Tommy Dreese, again, this isn't teasing him. He's a great long-run driver. Usually doesn't fire off as quick, whether that's setup or whatnot, but he is on the tail of Chris Dyson.
Tommy Dreese in that trend showing more tool back black and gold car. Here's another replay of the start. See what happens here as they go deep into the corner. You can see Amy Ruman locking up the Corvette, and Menard just slid off. Looks like there might have been a little bit of contact with Andretti. Then Andretti gets together with Paterick, which is crazy since they were the two that got together at Sonoma.
Exactly. That's repeating our Sonoma drama right there. Hard to tell from that POV if Andretti got into the back of Menard to shove him off in turn 4, or if he was just with Menard going too deep and they both took a trip there. But obviously, cold tires cold tires getting the best of a decent portion of our TA field here. Again, Tommy Dreese with pressure on Chris Dyson.
And we see Brabham really starting to open up a gap here, almost 3 seconds between him and Dyson already as they go through Thunder Valley. And then you've got Dreese right behind him. And remember, Dyson is back after a huge hit, his 2nd one of the year at Lime Rock at our last race. And he was telling me on Friday that he feels like he's better prepared to come back from that Lime Rock crash to race here than he was coming back after Sebring to race at Sonoma.
Speaking to the team, they were cautiously optimistic about how they were able to get this car together. I don't think Chris is really enjoying the front grip that he's got. Maybe that's tires coming up slowly, or maybe a bit of an imbalance, but Tommy is eating him up in the slower portion stuff. We could see him right here through that middle really gaining. Chris puts the power down pretty well coming off, but it looks like the 16 car, that Jim Weed sponsored Ford Mustang is shoving the nose a little bit too much through the corner. Definitely has some ponies there, though.
Yeah, you can see Dreesy hitting 170 miles an hour before he gets on the binders here for 4, and Dyson was quicker than that, so he's pushing 175 easy.
I think Dyson's saving his stuff. I talked to him a lot about this. He gave me a lot of cool advice before I made my first TA start, and he's usually very chill in the beginning, saves his stuff. Brabham's driving away at the moment. I can't tell if that's because his car's faster or he's driving harder, but Dyson's a veteran at this stuff, and I think he knows what he's doing here. And then on top of that, you got Dreesy at Dark Horse. Usually you don't really talk much about him, and then he's always in the conversation there at the end. So I think we got a long race ahead, and it should be very interesting here.
And happy birthday to Rob Dyson, Chris's dad, longtime racer, team owner.
Another legend in the sport there.
Oh, yeah. And you can see Dreesy right up on the curbing there coming through the carousel.
Definitely able to move that car around a little better. Chris had to miss the test day here on Thursday, so he's a little bit, a step off of what these guys are as far as time in the car this weekend. Running second is not a bad spot behind your teammate here. That's Dyson Racing 1-2, and like Thomas was saying, he could very well understand that with 100 miles. Probably about 92 left in this race right now. He's got time to take care of his equipment, take care of his tires. Knows these tires are going to get greasy and slipping and sliding coming off here, and may just be in the catbird seat when it comes time to try to make a pass here for the win.
Yeah, for sure. I don't see Brabham really driving away from Dyson too much anymore. I think he's starting to pick it up, or Brabham's starting to save his stuff. But if you see Dreesy is starting to move around the racetrack, as we saw, changing lines. That is because of the dirty air. The dirty air in these cars are quite significant with the downforce and the high-speed nature of these race cars, and moving your car around could get some air in the front end of the car.
Catch a glimpse of Pinteric here, who's running 10th overall. He is 8th in class in the Trans Am category.
Our points leader, Paul Menard, has fallen back to 13th. Andretti is now P4. There was a battle ensuing there. Normally we're not seeing our first and second in the points battling it out for 4th and 5th. Maybe something's happened there. We'll see if Ben can find out some information for us here. On board here now, legendary Wally Dallenbach here making his final start in the Trans Am Series, with team owner John Cloud also making his final start, choosing the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course to end an incredible career here.
Not sure if he made it, but Wally was telling me yesterday Jack Roush was trying to come here today, be present for Wally's last race in Trans Am. Of course, Wally won that championship in 1985, racing for Jack Roush. Oh, and around goes Dreesy, right into the S's.
Oh, man. Get that
He was
thing
running
refired. There he goes.
third.
There he goes. He's still third.
Yep, here comes Amy.
He's still third. That's going to be Amy Ruman now closing
Then Andretti,
in. Andretti's
all
dropped
closing
a spot.
in here.
But there's so much going on here. We haven't caught it up with it all. A second ago, Andretti was running in a very comfortable 4th. Dropped back a couple spots. This is Amy Ruman now. Finally, maybe this is one of these chances for her to get up on the podium at her home track.
You can see Tommy looks like he's really fighting the front end of the car here.
Well, for sure. I think when he spun, he overheated those rear tires. He's got to give it a few laps to cool those tires down. And I wonder if Andretti had an off-track skirvin as well, which caused him to fall back, because he should theoretically be ahead of Dreesy after that spin. I wonder if Menard had overheating issues after going through grass, having grass and dirt in that grill. Could have overheated that car. So
no problems for that guy. Matt Brabham out front, belching flames as he goes through the Cube 3 architecture keyhole. He's got just inside of 4 seconds between him and his teammate, Chris Dyson.
See, he's stretching the gap out a little bit more. Again, still very early in this race.
There's Dreesy slipping back into the clutches of Amy Ruman in her bright red Corvette C7 bodied car. Looks like Tommy's got a little more speed than she does down that long straightaway.
He does, and it looks like she's got a bit of a parachute off that left rear, with if that's an inner fender liner, if that's the bumper torn up there, but definitely a little bit of aerodynamic drag. She does close up quite a bit. She knows these tight, twisty portions of this Mid-Ohio sports car course here is obviously her home track. I am taking a look at Paul Menard coming back up through timing here. He's closing back up behind David Pinteric here.
Yeah, Paul has climbed back up to 9th overall and 9th in class.
Andretti has an issue here for sure. He's had a few issues this whole season. If anyone could drag a car here that has an issue to the end of this race and get the points he needs, it's Andretti. He's the best at it, and one of the best I know at it. But he has fallen back multiple seconds from Amy Ruman and Dreesy that last lap, and including this one.
Looking at Gray in the 60 as their groups at the front start working their way through traffic. Gray is running 18th overall, 4th in class. Oh boy,
trip
problems
through the grass.
there.
Amy Ruman trying to keep the exit speed to make up some time exiting one. Keeps her foot in it for a couple hundred yards here. We're going to take a quick look at Tommy. Just coming into turn one, gets a little bit too much rear brake there and just can't hold the back end.
He's trying to keep pace with Dyson, and at 4 there, you got to be a lot smoother on the brakes and getting back onto the gas there, right?
I think that was it.
I think it's rolling. I think he either wheel hopped or he carried too much speed through the center of the corner, and the tires were not going to hold. So unfortunate, but he's kept the position. But if we look here at Andretti's times, he's fallen 3 seconds off the times he was running in the beginning of this race. And as we're speaking, Paul Menard runs the fastest lap of the race by 2 seconds over the guys in front of him, so he's on a charge.
He's found his rhythm, hasn't he?
Our leader might have chilled it out a little bit, and is taking care of the cushion that he's got, thinking that he's got 80 plus miles to go here at a 24.2, but Paul Menard at a 22 flat last time by. Chris Dyson also closing in on the leader now that he doesn't have any pressure from behind of Tommy Dreesy here.
Watching Milton Grant here in the 55, who is running 3rd overall in SGT, driver out of Germantown, Tennessee, the Century Self-Store Spring Hill Suites Porsche 991. And there goes your race leader, Matty Brabham.
Yep, as we see here, Dyson's caught the leader, Matty Brabham, by a second that last lap. It looks like he's starting to charge a little more. Actually, he's catching a lot here.
He almost missed that corner, though, didn't he,
Yes,
Dyson?
but if you look, Brabham's in sight now. It looks like he's stuck in lap traffic at the very moment, and Dyson's taking advantage of it.
Lapping through some of the GT cars here.
That hurt him.
And a lot of these corners, Andy, blind when you come down here through Thunder Valley and all of that.
Definitely tricky as you come up over the rise through 6 and 7 there. The front end gets light. You're landing off camber to turn into Thunder Valley there, turn 9. Very, very tricky. With definitely one of the trickiest portions of this course here.
The track itself gives you false confidence going in. A lot of these braking zones are up a hill, but then the rest of the corner falls off a cliff. So you go into these corners with a ton of speed and believing that it'll stick, and then when you get to the other side of the corner, you drop 50 feet, and the whole balance of the race car changes.
Jim Weed adorning the doors of both of the Dyson Racing cars. I tell you, the blue can, I think it's tropical fruit. That's my favorite. Can't say that I don't go steal a case from him every weekend and stick it in the Trans Am trailer. Menard has made up 2 spots since we've been talking to get himself within 1 spot of Andretti and our points battle here. Menard still flying with some quick times here, 4 seconds a lap quicker than Andretti that he's gaining on, and he's right to his bumper now.
There you see Menard right on the backside of Adam Andretti and closing, coming out of the keyhole here and going right by him down this long back straightaway.
Adam is obviously down a cylinder here, and Tommy, you know how it is when you're just out and off on the engine like that. This turns into a very long day for Adam.
Very long day. You know, the adrenaline's not pumping anymore. You're not fighting for much other than just trying to stay motivated to finish and take those points home. But you know the other guy's going to gain more points on you, especially when it happens this early in the race. He's got a whole hour and a minute left of this race to just cruise around the racetrack, and he knows what's going on up front. He knows those guys are taking points away from him or gaining more points on him. So it's unfortunate, but I hope he could at least get it home. Finish that 100th race.
Exactly. Yep.
And here's Wally Dallenbach. You know, I was talking with Wally on Friday, and I said, of all the stuff you've driven, what's your favorite race car? He goes, this one this weekend. He goes, I absolutely love this car, love the series. And he said, even though the cars have progressed from where they were in 1985 when he won his first championship, he said it's still basically the same beast. Yes, it's got more horsepower, and better grip and all that, but he said you still have to drive it the same way. You have to attack.
And you'll hear me say it over and over and over again. One of the best things about Trans Am racing is that we keep it simple.
Adam on pit lane.
Popping the hood here. Obviously, they're worried about the motor blowing, and this isn't just the time to do the laps. They've got to take a look at what's wrong and see if there's a fix. I think they were probably staying out hoping for a full course yellow so that they could do these repairs and take a look without leading a lap here. Wally Dallenbach, who was up to 5th from 8th, having a great run, now under big pressure from our points leader, Paul Menard.
Yep, Menard working the backside of Dallenbach here, trying to find a way around as they come through the S's.
Got one of the new Howe HR6 GT cars right there as we go. Wally wastes no time with a dive into turn 9 there.
If you want my honest opinion, I think Menard is truly in this race again. He's currently a second a lap quicker than the leaders and the rest of the field. And if you do the math, it's going to be no time before he gets to the front of that field. So hopefully Menard's saving his stuff and he's not hurting his stuff at the very moment. But if he can keep that pace, it's going to be a strong fight up front.
It is hard in this heat to go that fast and expect to get to the leader and have much left of your tire, especially if that leader is understanding of what your process is and is saving his stuff at the same time. But one yellow bunches this field up. We've got all 9 TA cars still in the lead lap until Adam goes down a lap here. All these guys are still in it if we can get a yellow here and bunch this field up. But Paul Menard definitely on a tear with that Pittsburgh Paints number 3. Boy, that's a bit of a tongue twister that doesn't need to be.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Paints and Stains number 3. Certainly the quickest car on the course right now as Andretti continues to just sit in his car. They're buttoning it back up. Maybe they're going to release him here shortly. Top liner Chevy.
They don't look like they're in much of a rush, and Adam's door is up there, so this doesn't.
Maybe he's getting ready to crawl out.
This doesn't look good.
That's so unfortunate for that
Yep,
group
here he
of guys.
comes.
They're such a hard-working group of people. Those are the guys who gave me my first break in TA. So I hate to see this. I wish Andretti could have finished that race, his 100th race, but I guess there's always the next one.
Claudio Burton, the inventor, the mad scientist, the chemist, the brains behind Topliner, had a competing brand similar to that in years past, sold that off, and is now back with the newest, latest, greatest, improved creation that is Topliner, an amazing bedliner spray. Unfortunately today, having a little bit of bad luck. And here we go. I've been waiting for this. Our drone footage is back, chasing Matty Brabs in that number 21 Jim Weed Chevrolet Mustang, sorry.
Yeah. And,
sorry,
that's
guys.
a big challenge, chasing Matty Brabham around here today.
It is.
That drone is such a cool camera. It almost makes you feel like you're in third person in a video game.
Right?
It is so cool.
This is definitely unique to our series. We've got one of the braver drone pilots out there, and he does an amazing job getting really close to these cars, even through the turbulence that they have to deal with the downforce and the wind that these cars are kicking up.
Well, we got a pretty good commercial pilot as well working with us here on our Speed Sport 1 broadcast. So we're going to step away for a moment from the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli, still being led by Matt Brabham. Be right back. Here's Brabham down that long back straightaway, headed towards turn number 4 through the bend. And he's going to catch up to one of the Maseratis here.
That is Chris Coffey, the leader of our GT class, but he's also, honestly, he's leading the SGT class and the XGT class, doing an amazing job. Coffey always on the point with our GT class here, leading the points championship, leading this 5-car class that he's got here this weekend, and doing a great job running in the top 10 overall. Is Brabs, obviously with almost double the amount of horsepower, making his way by Adam 8, 9, 10 there.
Coffey out of Murphy, Texas. Norwood Auto Italia Traffic Graphics Maserati MC GT4.
Just observing what's going on at the very moment, it looks like Dyson closes the gap a little bit on his teammate Brabham, but he keeps getting caught in lap traffic in the worst spots. So Dyson is is hitting lap traffic and losing all the time he's just gained, and Brabham's doing just a better job at getting around that lap traffic at the very moment. So let's see what he can do here, and let's see how fast he can get around Coffey, but he's going to need a bit of luck here, Dyson.
He's going to catch Coffey right at the Q3 architecture keyhole, and he clears him easily.
Yeah, no, Coffey, Chris knows, is very aware that he's got to drive in his mirrors a lot with these 900 horsepower TA cars around here, but he's also got quite a comfortable lead over his teammate Colin, who's running P2, doing a great job here, holding off the Howe HR6 cars here. So in their debut, the 3 Howe HR6 cars trying to make a run at Cohen here, but Cohen holding off for second place in our podium position.
At that. Back live here at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course here on Speed Sport 1. And guys, during the break there, I was watching as they went up through 5. There's some debris off to the far right. And maybe that yellow we're thinking about could come if that gets moved a little bit.
I know Tim Richter, our race director up in the booth, has been watching that since the first lap. That is leftovers of the Adam Andretti, David Pentarek touch there, and that might even be a little bit of leftover Amy Ruman bumper that we saw from that damage, and it's offline, so it's not much of a threat. But if somebody hits it, spreads it out, pushes it online, that's definitely something that Tim would have to consider for what we're doing here.
For sure. I think, so you can see Dyson starting to catch Brabham again. I think he is the faster package. I think there probably could or should be a yellow to clean up that debris, but if not,
right here on your right, right there.
It wouldn't be a bad idea if you're on the inside of some guy to wash them out wide and put them in that stuff to hopefully give yourself a better chance at winning. But that's just tactics. But we'll see what happens here. Let's see if we could get to that point where these two Jim Weed cars are side by side racing for the win.
And tip of the visor to Chris Dyson's crew. They had to get the car back together after Sebring, do it again after Lime Rock. They've done a lot of work getting that machine ready to go racing again. And every time Chris has climbed behind the wheel, that number 16, it has been fast and very competitive. So they've done a nice job getting him race ready. Well, unfortunately, the 100th start came to an end early for Adam Andretti, but Ben is with him.
Well, thanks a lot, Ralph. I'm down here with a very disappointed Adam Andretti. Adam, your car looked so good all weekend. What happened out there at the start?
It's hard telling without seeing a replay or anything like that, but it was just chaos. It was chaotic at the start. I felt like I got shoved a little bit, and we were pinched pretty tight, and I didn't mean to get into Paul at all. And then when that happened, it spun the wheel in my hands, and I hit the pit limiter by accident. And that's what I ended up into David Pentarek. I guess the magnets in our cars are still there, and after Sonoma. But I feel bad about that. And the Kreider Racing group, I hate it that we got into them right there. And this is a home race for him and David. And yeah, I hate it most for this top liner Burton Racing group. We had a great race car all weekend long, and it's over that early. But we had an engine failure. We had something else going on that had nothing to do with the contact, and so we'll go back and we'll look at that, and hopefully we got something to come to Road America with.
Well, gentlemen, that's from Adam Andretti. Back to you.
All right, Ben. Well, Road America's the next stop. That's next weekend over in Elkhart Lake. Let's take a look at the replay of the start once again here and show you how chaotic it was when Adam was talking about headed down that long back straightaway. When they do a rolling start here, the starts are handled over there to give everybody plenty of room to get situated before coming up to turn 4, as opposed to trying to settle it all down before you get to turn 1. Here's a look at it now, guys. Take me through it.
We had Matty Brabs was clear. We've got, it looks like Pentarek got in the back of Dyson a little bit, but Paul might have squeezed down on Adam. I couldn't hear Adam's interview very well, but it looks like they got each other squeezed down. That let Adam pushed wide, probably got into Paul from what I'm guessing. We don't have the best of views right there. That sent Paul way deep into the woods there. And then Adam was left sides in the dirt, probably didn't have a whole lot of turning capability at that point. And then unfortunately was a little bit wide. That's some of the debris. You'll see that pop off. Everybody gets choked up right there. We're 4 wide coming through turn 5 right there.
And look at Menard sliding to get back up onto the racetrack. And also we saw Adam get all 4 wheels off into the dirt. And as he came back up, it's obviously not the smoothest transition in the world. It's going to upset the car and it might move around. And so accidentally you make contact with Pinteric that way.
Yes,
sure.
and that's what we're, obviously I think what we're seeing there. Also, now I think that is Paul Menard up into 4th. And he's got his sights now set on Tommy Dreese.
Our MCO Gears total laps led has been Matt Brabham the entire distance, 14 laps. Out front since this one went green.
Paul is flying, and now Dreese. Paul in the first one into the 1:minute 21s here, and Dreese into the 1:minute 22s. Dyson has now closed that gap to 2 seconds. This is they're all coming together here. It's gonna be a dogfight to the end.
Dreese did set his fast lap just now on lap 17. I think someone told him Menard was coming and that if he wants to keep this podium, he's got to light a fire under there. So as strong as we saw him to kick it off, here we go. Tommy Dreese flying now.
There's Kaylee Bryson, who's leading class in her 02 Corvette. Now I was talking with Kaylee. She's been very, very busy since the last time we saw her, which I think was the Road Atlanta. She has been running in USAC Silver Crown. She's been running 360 sprint cars. She ran Knoxville Raceway for the very first time. And she was telling me she's getting ready to go back in August to run the 360 Nationals in Knoxville. That is quite an undertaking and nothing like what she's racing today.
And that's what I was going to say. With a new sponsor on board this weekend with DSS out of Nashville there, she should be extremely proud of that. Any driver that's capable of jumping into a road racing car like her Corvette and then to jump back over to a 360 winged sprint car that she's flying around Knoxville of all places with, that's quite a varied talent of driving right there. And
a Silver Crown car on pavement and dirt.
Massively, massively different types of machines, all with gigantic horsepower, but a whole different way that you drive that. That's an amazing way for a young driver to get better and better and better and be able to adapt to different experiences like that. That's going to make her one of the most well-rounded drivers in the field.
I mean, the 360 car with the big wing on it, totally different than a non-wing Silver Crown car. And that Silver Crown car on pavement and dirt. So very impressed with Kaylee Bryson as she's working her way past Gray here in the 60. And hot on her heels, that Hill, I believe right there. In
that's Amy Ruman.
No, that's Amy's Corvette.
For lapping there. Amy's
Hill is
running
behind her in the 0 Corvette, giving chase as well. And here's Tommy Dreese, that trench shoring Motul back machine. And David Pinteric gave Dreese's guys a lot of credit for helping to get his car back together and ready to go racing here at Mid-Ohio. And Pinteric's car turned its first laps since the crash Thursday.
Yeah, Gary Seelix and the guys over at Dreese's team here, big series proponents, want to help the other drivers and the other teams get back in it. Kreider Racing needed some help there and went to Dreese and the squad over there, and they jumped right in, helped them out with some of the big stuff, delivered the car here back to Kreider Racing. They stayed up all night long putting that back together, and they made that first session, so pretty impressive here.
Yeah, a great group of guys, and obviously a very fast car. I think Dreese was probably just practicing his victory donuts early on just to get that out of the way. And
Thomas, you mentioned a minute ago of Chris closing that gap. Last lap, Matty Brabs, lap 19, he sets his fastest lap, so when he needs to turn up the wick, Chris was getting a little close. Brabs maybe saving a little something, maybe saving that tire a little bit, is good to go here and cranked up that lap time. But Chris answered with another lap. They're both within 0.02 of a second of each other on that last lap.
Yeah, this is keeping me on the edge of my seat. I mean, there is no consistent consistent driver that's gaining or losing. All 4 of these guys are out of nowhere picking up seconds on others or losing. So any of these 4 drivers are going to have a chance at winning. If we look at Menard here, Menard was 40 seconds back on lap 1. He's now closed the gap to under 20 seconds here with less than halfway through the race. So, I mean, everyone's flying.
I know all these drivers are in good physical shape, and many of them are veterans, have had lots of racing experience. But it is also the first very hot day of the year that we've gone racing with Trans Am, and the driest of the year.
The hottest, the driest, and with no yellows. This is one of our longer green flag runs as we see Paul Menard now with the big answer. That is a podium in sight, and with Adam Andretti going to receive minimum points here because of the engine issues that they're having, this could be a huge day for Paul Menard to capitalize on extending that points lead here. If he can get, we're seeing a replay. If you guys, if our viewers here remember the 2 races ago, Laguna Seca, last lap, last corner, Paul Menard giving the chrome horn to Tommy Dreese for that final podium spot. We're in the same exact position again here.
Menard has just grabbed that Mustang around the neck and is just ringing it around this racetrack, isn't he? He is just flinging it.
Yeah, and this is a track for sure that you're going to probably have to use that front bumper. I mean, a lot of these corners are a lot like ovals. It's a long corner with almost 2 parts to it, and the entry's closed off and the exit's closed off, so you're going to have to use that bumper to get the guy offline. For sure.
Tommy Dreese with a little bobble. Little bobble right through there, and it's going to get Tommy being defensive, and Paul going to the outside into the keyhole.
Boy, that's a tough place to make a pass on the outside at the Cube 3 Architecture keyhole. But he's going to have to tuck back in line and now see if the horsepower can get him set up for turn 4.
He didn't get a good enough run out of there. He's going to have to wait. Good racing.
It's a lot of work to have to wait again, isn't it?
Boy, man, you know, you see that door open. You see Tommy bobble at the apex of 1, but was smart to defend, put himself in a position where Paul was going to have to go around the outside. Paul, brave enough, though, took a look, but with a little bit of the marbles on the outside, didn't get that run off the keyhole, and now he's got to start all over again. And like Tommy and I were chatting before this race, this part right through here, this is so tough to make a pass on. So Paul, obviously championship in the back of his mind, has to wait for the right spot to get to that bumper and make that move. And there's only a couple of spots here if you want to be wide for Tommy Dreese to give him a shot at doing so.
The reigning champ all over Dreese here.
See if he gets a good exit out of here. He might have a chance into turn 1.
And headed back towards Mission Foods, turn number 1. Here they come again. Traffic in front of them just coming out of Mission Foods 1. Menard sniffing to the inside. He's going to settle in back behind him as they go through the corner. But that might all set him up for Cube 3 Architecture Keyhole, which is coming up.
Decent exit for Menard. We have lap traffic coming up as well, so let's see if Menard could use him as a pick.
Couldn't get him on entry. Does he get a better drive off? Dreese with a good drive out of there.
A good turn 1 and a good keyhole. It's going to make that a tough bid for Paul Menard to make that pass. But did we have a little contact right there? It looks like our leaders got slowed up a bit.
Well, Dyson is definitely catching our race leader. And we're on board with Tommy Dreese in that trend-showing Motul-backed Camaro.
Yeah, this is one of the most exciting races I've seen in a long time. And while we're talking about this fight for the final spot at the podium, Chris Dyson has now got the gap to Matt Brabham under 2 seconds. We're now within the second range.
Look how tight this is. I mean, there's not even a car length between those two.
Tommy is driving the heck out of that car. He does not want to give up the final trophy, the final spot on the podium here as we see Brabs working through some lap traffic.
Battle for the lead here. You can see Dyson right behind him as they go back into Mission Foods turn number 1. And the engines are not the same.
Oh,
no!
Oh.
Paul Menard has stuffed it into the tires.
This is the carousel, the final corner just before the king coming on the front straightaway. That Pittsburgh Paints car, he's going to have to do this all over again. Hopefully we don't have any grass in the grill here. He's up and going clear. That gives Tommy Dreese a lot of breathing room now after all that pressure.
And incredibly, it doesn't look like there's any damage at all to the front of that Mustang.
Now I wonder, that's either a driving error or I wonder, did he get in front of Dreese and Dreese repaid the favor from Laguna Seca?
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, either one of those is a strong possibility. Well, I like the way you're thinking.
There's a lot going on over here. Where did he get up?
Let's take a look at it and see what we can see. Here they come. He got to the outside of him.
Just too late.
Too much.
Yeah, he just took a big lunge at it. There's
look at
not
that
a lot
slide.
of rubber down there. You see the lockup right before then, and just a little nudge. But we did see that grass is filled up in the front of that
Sure
radiator
did.
right there. We've got to, when you get a hot day like this, it's unbelievable what a clump full of grass can do on the front of that radiator to send those engine temperatures. Now remember, we're talking 900 plus horsepower to these things. They need a lot of water and a lot of air to cool these things down. You fill that radiator up with grass, and that's a lot of potential trouble, especially with this much time left in the race.
For sure. I mean, it's so hot out that in general with the perfect cooling systems, it doesn't fully cool the car down. I mean, specifically in the TA2 series, a lot of us drivers are struggling with brake fade and brake failure. I've had 2 brake failures this weekend, and a bunch of other drivers have as well. So they got to make sure to save their stuff, but when that stuff happens, it's going to be tough to cool the engine or tires down after that.
It's going to be in the back of their minds the whole way.
Be tough to cool the driver down too, right? Because his blood pressure just went sky high. Well, here's a look at it. Is there still grass? Looks like the grass is gone.
Okay.
Looked like a lot of it, at least, has fallen off the front of that Pittsburgh Paints and Stains number 3.
With as much NASCAR experience as Paul Menard has, he knows that the thing to do when you fill that radiator up with grass is to tuck yourself right on the bumper of the next car you can find, because there's a low pressure area right there, and that grass will literally just suck up and off and over the front of the car or around the sides to the high pressure area, and it'll basically just pull it right off the radiator. Maybe he's smart enough to find a lapped car that he can run close enough to, but literally just has to be a couple of seconds, and that's all gone.
At this very moment, Paul Menard is around 15 seconds off from where Dreesy was before. I believe he did make up that whole gap within around 35 minutes. I think it is possible for Paul Menard to gain those positions back and then get within distance of Dreesy here at the end of this race. So Dreesy's not all quite done yet. He's got to get through this lap traffic very quickly, and he's got to be consistent and save his stuff, because Menard's probably disappointed, upset, and he's going to be pushing hard here.
Here's the other thing for Tommy Dreesy. He has been nosing around this championship fight all season long, on the podium quite often this year, and he's going to possibly do it again today. Came into this race here in Mid-Ohio 3rd in the championship, and with Menard now struggling behind him, Dyson not really running for points, and Matt Brabham not running for points, Dreesy can make up a ton of markers here today.
He's a net winner in the championship today for sure. If he can gain any more positions up front, it'll only help that situation. But yeah, let's see. If Menard continues the race here and only finishes a few points behind, he won't gain too much on him, but he's for sure going to gain a decent amount on Andretti.
Dreesy was on the podium here in Mid-Ohio just last year, finishing 3rd. Looking to do the same here today. He's got 3 poles here as well from 2013 through 2015 consecutively. And he had one in 2021.
Dyson's in traffic here.
And he's a former winner here in American Le Mans Series competition, so an LMPC car. So Tommy knows his way around Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, he's got a ton of experience for sure. A ton of experience. Great race car driver too, and just picking up the points when he needs to, aggressive when he needs to be, and conservative when he needs to be as well. So that's what we need to do to be in a championship.
Now check this out.
The Ron Fellows car.
I love that car. Love the look of that car. That's one of our GT1 entrants. Next week at Road America, be sure to tune in for that. John DeGainer will be there, and he's going to have the most amount of competition that he'll have had all season long, as we've got a bunch of GT1 entrants there. That is the generation older Trans Am cars, but still tons of horsepower and a lot of speed in those cars. I know he likes Mid-Ohio, but he's really looking forward to Road America.
Yeah, he was telling me he was hoping a bunch of those GT1 guys were going to come here. They just couldn't get ready in time, but they will be at Elkhart Lake next week. And that is a real Ron Fellows car. He said Ron has come over and taken a look at it and said, yep, that's it.
He keeps the paint job on it because it's such an iconic car. It's been doing really...
Oh, and he went off.
Commentator's curse.
Oh, the commentator's curse just as we were done.
Sorry.
It obviously looked like he was starting to pass the Porsche down the back straightaway, and it looked like he gave a lift. I wasn't sure if
Could
he was
be our yellow.
Yellow.
This could be our yellow.
Be the yellow.
I was going to say, I don't want to make you guys too excited, but Menard caught Dreesy that last lap by 4 seconds.
Wow.
And he's on a charge at the moment. This is going to make everything interesting here.
Here's the thing for Paul Menard. It's all about minimizing your damage on your bad days, right? And he is doing that today.
He's had quite an active day here with a trip through the grass twice, almost a tire wall once. Man, I'm sorry, John DeGainer. That is, he had just won his race on the SVRA side. At Speed Tour here, we have both SVRA, we have IGT, we have Trans Am, we have a bunch of different events going on when we go track to track to track, and he just won in a really cool older car that he's got here, but was looking forward to the Trans Am race, and looking forward to him now next week at Road America with the rest of the GT1 crowd that we've got showing up there.
Well, that full course caution hasn't come out yet. We're still green and racing. Tim Richter has not said we're going full course yellow. It's just a local yellow for now, so
It's all right.
maybe it's not going to help out Paul Menard the way we thought.
I think it's going to be okay. I think it will come out because you can't get that car fired, and it's not a safe spot. But there's still 35 minutes left of this race, so regardless of what happens, I think if we do get a yellow, we should have enough time to have some good wheel-to-wheel racing. But honestly, I'm very surprised with Dyson and how he hasn't fallen off and how he's been gaining on Matt. And I'm excited that this is happening. You know? Oh, here we go.
There's the caution.
Full
Yellow
course
flag.
caution in our Trans Am presented by Pirelli. Field is going to get a chance to re-rack them and go with about
34 minutes.
About 34 minutes. That's our, I think we're going to hit our mileage before we hit our minutes here. So there's even less time than that to go. So this is going to be a barn burner here at the end. Paul is going to get the chance that he's been looking for to try to go after this and get that podium shot. Amy Ruman, the same. I'm sure she's been chomping at the bit to close that gap back up. And Tommy Dreesy, who looked, honestly, like the pressure came off and maybe his guys called him and said, hey, you've got this podium. You're clear by 8 seconds. Save the tires in case we get that yellow. You pushing hard here. You're too far behind to catch Chris, and you're far enough ahead to stay ahead of Amy and Paul. You can manage that tire if we get a yellow and then go for it and use it up at the end.
Well, we're going to see that all here momentarily. The Ginetta safety car is out. The field is lining up back behind it. So while they take care of all that, these drivers get ready to go sprint racing to the finish. We'll take a quick break so we can come back and show it all to you live. The finish in Mid-Ohio coming up on Speed Sport 1.
How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
Said. One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zone, like this one right here.
Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, look out. Miller, look
Back here on a hot and sunny day at Mid-Ohio in Lexington, Ohio. About an hour outside of Columbus. It tends to be where the majority of people fly into when they come here.
Yeah, for sure. No, I'm really happy with what I saw with Dreesy, though. Like I said, the dark horse in this situation where he's always there at the end. He forced Paul Menard into a mistake. He didn't make the mistake himself. He was off pace a bit, and he's got a hard-charging Paul Menard, NASCAR driver, Brickyard 400 winner.
Pretty good shoe.
Up his rear end, and so like that was awesome to see.
Well, let's get an update on Paul Menard's car. Here's Ben Sissel.
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm down here with Tony Gentilozzi, and man, they have thrown everything at you today, but this full course caution kind of comes in your favor, doesn't it?
Yes, sir, it does. Looks like we got turned around at the start. Paul drove some really quick laps. We've got a great car, so we'll see what happens here at the end.
Nice. And you came into a quick pit stop early just to get the grass off so it doesn't overheat. Is that what you were doing?
Yes, absolutely. Unfortunately, when he went off, he took a bunch of grass, and better than blowing it up, we stopped and cleared it off.
All right, well, back to you guys with a little information here from pit lane.
Okay, so they got the grass off, and it sounds like they're confident in the speed in the car, but he's got a ways to go. There you see him back behind Amy Ruman.
So
and it looked like another car before he would get to Dreesy again.
Yeah, so this is going to be a challenge. I think he's going to be able to make short work of the GT, XGT, and SGT cars that are in our field, but then once he gets to Trans Am cars, it's going to be a battle again. But I don't think it'll be too much. Oh, boy, and as we're looking at that, man, it's only going to be he only dropped back a couple of cars, I guess because of the gap while we were under the code 60. And the code 60, for those at home that haven't understood it, the Trans Am does this with the intent of additional safety. So instead of when we go full course yellow and these guys staying flat out and catching straight up to the pace car, when we go code 60, there's a screen inside of every single race car that explains you need to slow down to 60 miles per hour right now. What that lets Trans Am do is confidently put safety cars on course to go address the needs of whatever driver is whatever ailing car, whatever driver's in need or whatever, and we could do that right away. So when other cars are still on track doing 150, 170, whatever miles an hour, we can't send safety out. What we do is the cars stay at 60 miles an hour, basically like they're on a pit speed limiter, and then once safety is addressed and everything's good, we take that code 60 off. We're still under full course yellow, but those cars can now speed up to catch the pace car and get back in line like we see here.
See, Matt Brabham has led every lap here today.
So educate me here. Is Menard going to start? Is Menard and Dreesy going to start behind Brabham and Dyson, or are those lap cars going to be cars that they still have to get around on the restart?
We can say so. I guess Dreesy. So we are just wave back, I believe, and that's where we're going to have a handful of the lap cars that are between the leaders. They're going to back off and come through either the pit lane or the other cars are going to do. And what that basically does is, instead of us again, for safety reasons, instead of us doing a wave around when we have safety cars on track and those cars going Mach 8 trying to catch the back of the field so that they can get to the back of the field and ensure they do a restart, we literally have them do a pass through, and then electronically we add that lap back. So there's a little bit of a fuel optimization to get that, but then for us, really, it's just eyes on safety to do it electronically instead of physically sending the cars around while we still have safety on.
And I'm being told we're going to go green next time by.
Okay.
I'm going to go grab a bag of popcorn.
Yeah, man.
It's going to be a good one.
It's time to brawl.
I'm excited.
Don't get a big bag because we don't have a lot of time left.
Oh, well, I mean, unless all three of us share.
This is going to set the stage. This is going to put Menard and Dreesy closer to Dyson and Brabham. Amy Ruman still in the mix there very much. Our lineup as we go, we've got Matty Brabham leading the TA class, Chris Dyson, Tommy Dreesy in third, Amy Ruman in fourth, Paul Menard in fifth.
We haven't talked about Amy Ruman too much this race, but she is in the perfect spot for chaos.
Exactly, watching the chaos.
She's stalking a podium finish here for sure.
For sure. She just needs one spot for that, but let's see what happens up front.
Remember, Menard is the points leader coming into the round, the reigning series champion. And then you've got Dreesy, who is third in the points, but in front of Menard on the racetrack. And the top two, Brabham and Dyson, Chris has said to me this weekend that I'm not really running for points anymore. I don't figure I'm in the championship fight. I'm just going to run for wins. And then Brabham not running all the events is definitely not a points championship contender.
You get enough wins, and all of a sudden you're a championship contender.
Especially
here,
if Menard stubs his toe,
exactly.
right?
When like you said, if they stub their toe, they get out of here. Coming back to the green here now, just 2 more corners away.
All right, here we go. Headed towards the finish here in Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. The Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. Back in green here on Speed Sport 1.
Dreesy makes a quick move up to third. There he is.
Yep.
He's on them.
Dreesy right behind Dyson as they sweep through Mission Foods turn number 1 and head to Cube 3 Architecture turn 2. Menard looking inside of Ruman. Amy trying to hold the line, hold the spot. That's a fight for 4th.
Dyson's putting the pressure on him right here.
And they're still side by side in that fight for 4th, and Dyson trying to hang on to his teammate Brabham. Now Menard has cleared Ruman. He's going to try to catch up to Dreesy, and the fight for the final spot on the podium will be on again.
This is a wild top 4. Already no separation. This is going to be a dogfight to the end.
And Amy's not done. She lost the spot to Menard, but she's still in the fight.
Aaron Quine there restarted in a good position, but told me before the race, he's like, man, we get a late restart like this. I'm going to respect these guys. I know they're going for a championship. A local guy, Mid-Ohio's his own home track, but obviously giving way to these guys and letting them go battle. And he's got the best view in the house here to watch these guys go at it for these last few laps here.
And he's done a lot of instruction here, too.
He does. As one of the main guys in Mid-Ohio School over the years, his picture's hanging up in race control, and he's happy to be back in the car. A TA2 runner in the past, first time in a TA car, obviously having a lot of fun.
Honestly, there's still a good amount of time left, and it looks like, again, Matt Brabham is starting to drive away and is pushing his equipment harder than Dyson is in the beginning. Let's see.
I was trying to bring this up earlier, but things got crazy on the racetrack again. Even though the cars come out of the same stable, there is some differences between Dyson's car and Matt Brabham's car. They're not running the same engine. Dyson has the newer, evolved FR9, and that is not the engine that is inside of Brabham's car.
And the chassis is a little bit different there, too.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean, obviously in practice, Matty Brabham's got to run both. He said they were both quick, so they're both on par with each other, relatively on par. They'll have their strengths and weaknesses against each other, as we see Paul and Tommy Dreesy.
Again.
I don't know how many times.
Here he comes. There he is, right there.
He just hit him again.
Did he shove him through?
I think he did. I could be wrong.
I can't tell.
I think he got by clean.
I don't know. Well, it's still clean regardless, but it's part of racing, but wow.
That puts Paul Menard back into podium contention here, and having run the fastest lap of this race by a good chunk, now set sail for Dyson, and then
look at all the grass off there.
One of our leaders has gone through the grass and taken something back. Maybe that was from a lap car prior, but that's a lot of grass here.
Dreesy's got to be confused here a bit. I mean, not even 15 minutes ago, he watched Menard drive off the racetrack around him, and now he's back in front of him. So
look at all that. Looks like somebody mowed some grass in there for sure.
Yep.
And you can see there's grass still on the front of Menard's car. Let's take a look at the pass between Menard and Dreesy, see if there's any contact here.
Good
he comes right up on him. He had good drive off the corner.
Cool drone shot again. I think this is a case of Tommy just drove in a little bit hot, didn't have the tires up to temp yet.
Yep.
The front
He
end
didn't touch
shove.
him.
Menard stayed online and was able to make the pass. That's a very unlikely place to make a pass. It's very tricky, very tight, usually just 1.5 grooves wide. But when you make a mistake up front, then it's a little easier to get that nose in there and get the power down.
That was interesting. If you saw that, I mean, Menard, like a rocket ship, pulled away from Dreesy like 10, 15 cars after that. I wonder if he had something cut out.
Look at this. He is on Dyson now.
Or oh, really?
Fight for second. Right here.
Yep. Wow. What are these lap times here? Brab's flying right now, but let's see if Menard can pick up the pace after he gets around Dyson. Good exit. Really good exit. Here he comes.
Here he comes, looking as they head to Mission Foods, turn number 1.
Not quite yet.
Tucks back in. Cube 3 Architecture Keyhole is up next.
Boy, that's just enough of a run to be enough of a teaser to maybe not be the best place. Dyson defends a little bit into the keyhole here. I think he knows that Paul's been strong and on. Brabham with a 22.2 on that last lap. Dyson 23.5. Menard 22.2. So Brabham and Menard equalizing the track lap time here. Dyson struggling a little bit, always the long run car, getting those fronts up to temp. You can see him holding the brake a little further into the corner here, trying to get that front to cut, shoving off the bottom there.
You know what that's also doing, Andy? It's slowing down Menard, and it's keeping Menard from getting around Chris fast, and while that's taking place, Brabham is inching away.
I wonder if that's part of the strategy here.
I was wondering if he was doing that on purpose, too, just to slow him down as a teammate.
I'm going to tell you one thing. No. Chris Dyson wants to go forward and go get Brabham himself. So I think he's just having trouble getting up the temperature. Dyson wants to go past Brabham as much as Menard wants to go past Brabham here. So for sure. But I tell you, it's just having so much struggle mid-corner. Like the front just is not hooking up for him here. We're seeing the same thing too. Watch him overslow the middle of one here.
And you can see it coming through the carousel. There is a fair amount of grass built back up on the front grille of Menard's car, which is power sapping for sure. You can see it there.
Yep, there's definitely.
And that is going to slow him down a little bit and make it hard to catch Brabham.
When Menard gets past Dyson, if he does, because he's got to get through that dirty air part, and the defending, if he gets past Dyson, there is no saving tires from here on out. He will be pushing 100% to try to catch Brabham.
And we are inside of 10 laps, working 8.5 to go.
Another tricky portion here, a variable that's never consistent here, is working through lap traffic, especially with these new HR cars, the Howe Racing cars. This is their first time racing them, so they're not exactly sure where those cars are strong or weak or whatever. We see Paul Menard dropping a wheel left and right, trying to put that pressure on Dyson, trying to get close enough to his bumper to pull that grass off there too so that he can get that engine temperature low. Also, when you're that close to him, if you can't get close enough, you're actually still eating a lot of that exhaust, and that's also heating that engine up here. So Menard wants by, and he wants by in a hurry. He wants to go get Brabham, but he also needs some clean air so that he can get that engine cooled down.
Feverishly trying to get past him here.
Such a run out of that corner every time. If only the straightaway is just a little bit longer, he'd have a better shot going into turn one. But again, turn one is not a hard braking zone, so it's going to be tough to stick his nose. Oh, here we go.
There he goes, looking outside. Really Dyson moves over to block, and then Menard back to the inside, which will be the outside at the keyhole. Now he goes back inside.
Not quite. Good defense from Dyson.
Good job by our buddy Ray Mason there, making his first start of the Trans Am season to see those leaders coming and pull out of the way for us.
Looked like Menard dipped a wheel just a hair there.
I don't see how this will be doable unless he gets around him right now. There's 8 laps to go, and the gap out in front is 5 seconds. So if you do the math there, that's over a second a lap, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but he's going to need a lot of time.
Look how close he is through there.
Yeah, he's struggling with the dirty air. This track is very, very difficult to pass on.
He's eating them up in the slow stuff where his car's cutting and Chris is fighting that front end. While we're watching this battle, I just want to make a quick mention here. We didn't get a chance to talk about Grant, Mason, and Grant. That's 1, 2, 3 in SGT right now. Grant leading over Mason, leading over Grant. We've got a Mason sandwich there. Those guys have been putting on a battle this whole time. They haven't gotten a lot of screen time, but I wanted to give them some love and a mention here as our SGT class has been very strong today, and these guys are running nose to tail putting on this race here. Paul Menard still putting on pressure, dropping a wheel again, as he wants by desperately.
And Cohn leading in GT with Nate Peralski running second in GT. And then you got the Rinks back there in third and fourth. And look at the battle here as Menard continues to push on Dyson.
Yeah, it looks like here that Brabham's probably got this race won right now. I mean, I think it's going to be a battle between second. This would be huge for Menard in the point standings if he could get P2 as well. So this is our fight right here.
Well, and it's important for Menard because of the points that he could gain by getting around Chris Dyson here and finishing at least second on the podium today. And I would think after everything he's been through, second place points day would be very welcomed by Paul Menard.
After the yo-yo effect from literally the drop of the green flag, you think, hey, big picture, you're the championship points leader, take it easy, but we've seen him drop a wheel here 3 or 4 times in the last 3 or 4 laps as he's charging, wanting to get by. I mean, the Dyson-Menard rivalry in the last couple of years has been great. You know, Paul won this race last year. Dyson won it the year before. There's a fight for who, and it looks like it's going to be Bradham in 2025, but these guys still don't like losing to each other, and they're going to be pushing hard, whether they're racing for first, second, or 25th here. Paul again using up every inch of that road here. Dyson being a little bit protective in case Paul feels like taking the dive bomb.
Remember, at one point in this race at the beginning, Paul Menard, who started on the outside of the front row, had fallen all the way back to 13th, and now here he is fighting for second with 6 laps to go. That's one Mustang that's going to be looking for a bale of hay and a bucket of water at the end of this day.
For sure, and there's still tons of passion within this battle. I mean, as a race car driver, especially in the final laps, fighting for second, to get that position could be a win. You're in the spot to take advantage.
Caught a glimpse of Kaylee Bryson back there. She had moved way over to the right. I wasn't sure if they were just passing her and she was getting out of the way, or she was having some sort of issue with her 02 Corvette. I don't see her back there.
That was a bit excessive on the slow side. She'd been quick all day and running very well. Still a quick lap, actually really close to what her qualifying time was on her last lap. But this lap looks like she's in a little bit of trouble there, hoping she can bring this thing home.
Yeah, hopefully not a caution here at the end of this race. But again, Menard, if he could get past this, he's thinking in his mind, if he could get past Dyson here, he will be in the hot seat if anything happens up front to grab him.
5 laps to go. Just 5 laps remaining here in the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli in Mid-Ohio. There's your race leader, and here comes that great fight for second place.
Quite yet, he's setting him up for this next straightaway here. Let's see what kind of run he gets.
Chris has looked like the fronts either come in or the rears have gone off enough to give him a little bit more balance back here. Trying to break the draft a bit on the way down to our best braking zone here, our best passing zone here coming into turn 4. Tommy Dreesy and Amy Rubin still holding on, fighting for that 4th and 5th place spot.
It's one of those difficult situations where Menard gains on the entry, but Dyson pulls away on the exit. So it makes it very difficult for Menard to pass Dyson because he's better than Menard in the most important spots of the racetrack.
Well, and you're not going to rattle Chris Dyson's cage, right? I mean, he's too much of a veteran to just be messed with by filling up his mirrors.
And he's doing the right thing. When you've got an understeer like that, whatever that problem is, that car's not turning through the tight stuff in the middle, this is what you've got to worry about. You've got to worry about the lap cars. We've been doing a great job. The 12 there, recognizing what's going on, backing off, more than he normally would, let those guys go through on the outside. But Chris, with this kind of issue that he's got here, you see the car turn in and then lose the front, and then he's got to wait on it. He waits to get Menard to his bumper, and then he pulls the trigger one time. This isn't one of those things where you go searching for the throttle and mess yourself up off the corner and give that just that perfect gap for Paul to get there. Dyson's waiting, slowing down more. Once he's got the apex secure, you can sit there, coast, let the rotation go that you need, and then pull the trigger one time so you get that car length jump off the corner. And Paul's reacting to Chris getting the power instead of anticipating it with a gap. And that's what we're seeing right now. That's the masterful job of backing up your corner for the purpose of staying in position rather than the lap time that you're trying to achieve.
For sure, and he's driving wonderfully. I mean, the defense by Dyson is fantastic, being able to get those runs off the corner, but the difficult part for him is he can't have a single wiggle. He can't have a bad exit at all, or else Menard is going to be on his chops. It's going to be very important here for Dyson to not make a single mistake, because all it takes is one, and Dyson and Menard's going to be there.
Coming to 4 laps to go here.
Even just a little bit of luck in traffic, you get the wrong guy at the wrong time. Chris has made some bold moves, making sure he puts his nose in. We saw that not pay off at Lime Rock a little bit, but here he's got the pressure, wants to make this happen, but he's got to put himself. There are some dangerous positions you're going to put yourself in sometimes when you're trying to go through here. And just as we say that, we're going to see these guys are probably, Chris is probably going to catch these guys right in the middle of the beginning of the twistiest parts, which is turn 4 to turn 9 here. If he can make up a decent amount of time down the back straight, boy, no, he's going to catch them right in a really tricky part
at
here,
the breaking
which is
point.
just going in the 4.
This
There
is
he
not
goes.
over yet.
But Menard's got to clear them as well. He's got to stay right in step with Dyson to have any shot here.
We're going to get one more factor, one more variable of that lap traffic. 2 of them probably just as we're coming through turn 9.
Oh, man. Menard's going to get a really good exit, though. Can't tell, not quite.
I think Chris has done enough to hold on to get by all 3 of those cars this lap.
That was impressive by both drivers.
Again, very tricky situations when you've got a 900 horsepower car. Your other GT cars are 400 or 500 horsepower, which is a lot of horsepower, but you plant 900 horsepower under the hood of these Trans Am cars, and not only are they stretching those Pirellis out, but boy, they're really they're putting every part of that car under major stress loads, including the driver, and as well as the other drivers that they're passing throughout the race.
Absolutely, and with 2 to go here, I can't even fully say the win's completely out of contention. Even though Menard and Dyson have been battling for the last 10 laps, they have caught Brabham 3 seconds within the last 3 laps. Lap traffic's part of this. We're going to have more here with the Dyson and Paul Menard battle, but this is not over yet.
Hey, it's racing. Anything's a possibility, right?
Yes, it's somehow.
Yeah, they have caught Brabham. Look at that.
Yeah. In sight there, a little more lap traffic to go. There's going to be one more Porsche between Brabs, and maybe Brabs is just being super conservative. We've got another Porsche off in turn on the outside of turn 7 there. I think Tim, with just 4 laps to go, our race director
Full course caution.
Oh,
no.
Wow.
Full course caution.
That's going to be the race.
It could be the race, or we could be. Don't shut that TV off yet. We could be set up for a green-white checker here, depending on how quick the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course safety crew can get to these cars and pull them to safety. We're code 60 right now as these cars bunch up.
Slow that field down.
Unfortunately, I think that's the 82 of Ray Mason. He was running 2nd in our SGT class. I don't have a number on that car yet, but that
looks like he's out of the car there.
That's unfortunate. 2 laps to go. Do all that work.
Oh, man. White flag has just come out.
So then this will be the final lap.
Yep. And it looks like that's how it's going to finish.
Dyson just caught traffic there, too. That was going to be such a close race.
Well, I would have liked to have seen it end under green, but we had enough action. We were action-packed for that full 90-something miles of our 100-mile race. That was a great event here, an incredible run by Paul Menard to go from the front to the back to the front to the back to the front again. He's going to end up on our podium here if he can just complete this last half a lap here. But Matty Brabs took the point from the start and was able to control this pace.
And credit to him, because he was running at a very quick clip. And he didn't wear that car out, hung it in there, and he's going to lead every lap to take the win.
No, incredible race by Matt Brabham. I mean, he's super experienced across all of motorsports and has been in so many cars. And he was the guy to beat today, and no one could do that. So led all the laps and did his job, took pole position. That's a slam dunk win for him. But, I mean, what a race by Dyson after being injured this year and coming back and having such a great race with that team, 1-2 for that team. And Menard, I mean, he went from hero to zero like 5 different times that race. It still ends up on the podium. That's a huge victory for him within itself for the points and for that team. So awesome job by Dreesy as well, and Amy Ruman for finishing out the top 5. And unfortunate end to Andretti. I'm sure he wasn't happy to see where the rest of the field finished after that race ended, but he'll be back strong for Road America.
Yeah, and a shame for Wally Dallenbach Jr. too in his final race for now. Wally finishing 18th here today. Yeah. 18 laps down, something wrong.
Hopefully it's not his final race. He can't end it off like that.
Yeah, maybe we can talk John Cloud into holding on to that equipment and dragging Wally to Road America next week for one more shot at it. I wouldn't mind trying to talk him into that. Tommy Dreese P5 as we cross the line here.
Checkered flag.
Matty Brabs is going to take the win. Chris Dyson second, Paul Menard third, Amy Ruman with a fourth place finish here. Tommy Dreese rounding out that top 5, and David Pentarek, local, only lives about an hour and a half from this track here, going to come home P6, and another local, Aaron Quine, in 7th place in the Trans Am Series. Chris Coffey winning GT, Cary Grant winning SGT, and our XGT winner is going to be Kelly Bryson.
Yep, she was able to hang on for that, so congratulations to her.
John DeGainer, our winner in GT1, obviously had some problems about 3/4 of the way through the race there, but looking forward to that GT1 field being stronger next week at Road America, and I know John's looking forward to that as well.
So Kaylee gets a win here in Mid-Ohio. Can you imagine now if she goes off and gets a win at the 360 Nationals in Knoxville?
I'm still
what a
so
summer
impressed.
That would be, huh?
Yeah, I was chatting with her yesterday, and we were talking about the differences in those cars and adapting back. I mean, even just the way you sit in a Silver Crown car and the way you sit in a Wing.
How the pedals work.
Everything. It's like a pendulum floor pedal on those sprint cars, and you get in this Corvette, and it's a totally different piece.
Yeah.
Honestly, really good run for David Pentarek. I mean,
all
yeah, we talked about Menard
right?
driving off the track a few times, but he was completely backwards on lap 1.
Yeah.
Stopped for a while. And he finished just under 20 seconds out of the top 5, I believe. So, and off the leader.
Right,
so that's still a really good run for him.
Yeah, very good job.
Well, these guys will have to work on their cars quick because it's Road America very next week.
That is the tough part of a race team's job, is now this race from Monday to Wednesday, or in our case from Sunday to Wednesday. There's going to be a handful of teams, Trans Am teams, that are going to stay over at Mid-Ohio and start most of their prep tomorrow and a portion of Monday morning before they get on the road and drive from here straight to Road America, unload, finishing that prep. So you never want to have a back-to-back race where your first race is a lot of damage and causing a little bit. Most of these guys, this is mostly all cosmetic today. We fortunately had no big hits here, but these guys will be buttoning this thing up, taking some notes, seeing what they got to do better for next week, and heading on down the road to tune in and get ready for next week's race at Road America.
Of course, we'll have that one for you live right here on Speed Sport 1 as well. So the Jim Weed Mustang making its way to the Jim Weed Winner's Circle here at Mid-Ohio. He'll make the left right there.
We'll have Ben doing the interview here. Thomas, you're about to get ready for TA2 qualifying. We've got our TA2 race tomorrow. Don't forget to tune into that.
Yep.
Speed Sport 1, Amazon Prime, Roku, Apple TV, our YouTube page. Lots of places to come watch us. Wherever you're watching us now, do it again tomorrow. Thomas, you are just a couple points out of that championship lead here. All right, we got Matty Brabs jumping out of the car.
The door open. Here he comes. He's disconnected all the belts and the hoses.
This is the best feeling as a race car driver. I miss this.
He looks a little tired.
Yep.
I think he's trying to get his helmet blower and his radio disconnected here. Not moving that fast, though.
No.
Happy guy.
I'll sit right here and take some pictures for you guys.
Exactly.
Get all the pictures you need today.
Heck yeah, man. There's nothing like a 1-2 finish. Nothing like 1-2. That's when everything goes to plan. That's when you make the plans before the race and it actually goes to plan. You see his dog there. That's awesome.
And I'll tell you what, if these guys play this way, if we can get Matt to run the rest of the season and he and Dyson can team up like this and keep the rest of the field behind them, he just might find himself back in this championship, Chris Dyson.
Without a doubt.
Late charge for the championship for sure. We've seen that happen before.
Well, he's out of the car, so let's get right down to Ben Sissel and hear from the winner, Matt Brabham, here in Mid-Ohio.
Down here at the podium, the Jim Weed Winners Circle. And first in is this beautiful Jim Weed car. I had to say hi to my friend Grumby, who joined us on the podium here a couple of years ago. But Matty, as you're getting the headgear off, that was quite a race. You get the pole, and then you go green flag all the way to checkered flag in the lead. You missed out on some of the battles happening behind you because it was a fantastic race. How was your race up there?
Yeah, it was great. I mean, obviously a few things I got to say. Obviously, thank you to my family, my fiance Kim, Brumby, my dog, my dad, her dad for coming out. You know, we're not too far from Indy, so it's almost like a home race. And then obviously shout out to Rob Dyson at home. It's his birthday today, so happy birthday, mate. And obviously big thank you to Chris Dyson and Jim Weed for supporting our Dyson race cars. I mean, Chris and I were the 1-2 there. I mean, it was obviously couldn't see quite the battle going on behind me. I got a good start. I'm not sure what happened behind me on the start. I know if I was to blame for that, pushing Menard off a little bit off the beginning, but it was so slippery there. So obviously, I don't know. I have to look at the replay, but obviously,
I think Andretti took credit for that one.
Okay, so that's all right then. But yeah, no, thank you so much to the series, Trans Am, and the fans. I saw the fans sticking around there. Tried to lay down some 11s for them on the way in, and yeah, super happy, and thank you so much. Thanks, guys.
Nice job. Well, Matty Brabham, top step at Jim Weed Winners Circle, but first win since VIR 2022. Kerry Grant in the SGT car. Kerry, that's got to feel really good. How was your race?
It was great. It was a little warm out there. Gas trying to catch my breath. I had my family at home. I had to chase down Ray Mason in the car in front of us, and we just plugged away, and Porsche reliability finally led me to the front. And I passed Ray when he made a mistake coming out of Thunder Valley. So it's a good race.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Well,
I'm going to sit back down.
All right, he's going to sit back down. That's pretty wise. It is hot here for Mid-Ohio, so I'm going to send it back up to you in the booth, and we're going to start the Jim Weed Winter Celebration here.
All right, Ben, thank you very much. Good to hear from a couple of our winners right away. We're going to take a short break here while they get everything ready for the podium celebration. We'll get all of our winners up on the podium, top 3 finishers in each category, and we'll be back for all that right here on Speed Sport 1. So don't go anywhere. We're coming right back from Mid-Ohio.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Haggerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Haggerty, let's drive together.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
Back here, you can see the podium celebration getting ready to go. Before we head down there, we're going to say goodbye to Thomas and Nunziata because you got to go get ready for qualifying, right?
Yeah, for sure. Watching this race helped me out a little bit. And yeah, wish me luck for qualifying. Hopefully we get this hot rod and on pole position.
All right, you got your sub sandwich taken care of. You're
Yeah,
good to
I'm
go.
hungry.
All right, we'll be calling your race tomorrow right here on Speed Sport 1. But for now, let's go right back down to Ben Sissel. Looks like the podium's ready to go, Ben.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Mid-Ohio Speed Tour. Oh, Michelle jumped out of there. I scared her. The Mid-Ohio Speed Tour. We are here at Jimweed Winner's Circle. Come on, let's hear you, Mid-Ohio. Come on now. Hey, if you got green hair, you got to be loud. There we go. We're going to start with the GT class, and in one of those beautiful new Howe HR6 GT cars. Come on, let's get loud for Todd Naborowski. Now listen, there is some free gym weed up here at the front. If anybody needs some energy, I think Mid-Ohio needs to pick up their energy a little bit. In second place, let's hear it in that beautiful Maserati, Colin Cohen. And then in first place in GT, last year's GT champion, all the way from the Dallas, Texas area. Let's hear it for Chris Coffey. Well, Todd, welcome back to the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli in a new car. I'm used to seeing you in those beautiful Camaros. How was your race out there?
Yes, sir. Yeah, it was fun. It was so much fun to be back in the car in the Howe Rinke turnkey chassis. I got to give thanks to Chaz Howe and Rich Rinke for letting me participate and drive in their program. It's a great car. It's a great entry level, sequential shifter, tube chassis car for somebody wanting to move up. And it was, this old guy here, he had got a little hot at the end there. So, but it was fun. It's a great car. Look forward to doing more. Thanks.
Nice. I love it. Todd Naborowski third. Colin Cohen, man, that had to be hot out there. You were like running up here. Let's do this thing, right? How was your race?
The race was great. It was great to be able to finish, and it was great to run with such a good bunch of people. Great craftsmanship on track, great racemanship, and I want to thank my team, Chris in particular, without whom a lot of you know him, without whom we don't exist, and Alex and Xavier, and also the Trans Am people for putting this together. Thanks, Ben.
Nice. Colin Cohen, ladies and gentlemen. Chris Coffey, what a race out there. You're getting some GT cars to race with, too. That's got to be fun. Take the mic. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, that race was pretty incredible. I mean, it's great to have such great competitors to race with, and everybody out there in Trans Am and SGT, XGT, all the guys really ran clean and great, and it was an absolute blast. And I hope these guys bring those HR6 cars to some more of the races. And I just want to thank my wife, Morgan, my son, Sam, my team, Xavier and Alex. Colin here. Without Colin, I couldn't be here. So this is just an incredible moment, and I hope to keep building on it.
All right, Mid-Ohio, let's get loud. Come on now. Todd Naborowski, Colin Cohen, Chris Coffey up there on the top step in the GT class. Charlie Howe, all three finished, right? All three of the new HR6s finished. What a great show they provided us. Make sure you come down here and get some free gym weed here at Jimweed Winner's Circle. But Mid-Ohio, I need you to get loud here. Come on now. Todd Naborowski, Colin Cohen, Chris Coffey on the top step in GT. Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. They're bringing out the champagne. Uh-oh, I don't know what they're doing. We are racing next weekend. Colin Cohen's walking off. He doesn't want to have to do his laundry before Road America. They got you anyway, though, Colin. How about that in GT? Nice job. Congratulations. Todd, what a show. I love those new cars. Nice job. SGT, and Milton Grant came up here and pointed this out because last race at Lime Rock, we had the lowest average age in TA2. This may be the highest average age ever in SGT. How cool is that? Racing for over 50 years, ladies and gentlemen, in the number 82 with Alliance Motorsports. Let's hear it. Ray Mason. Where is he? What's that? Okay, he's getting towed in. In second place, he has been racing for now over 50 years, all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. Let's hear it from Milton Grant, ladies and gentlemen. And this time, his son got the better of him. Let's hear it. First place, first time since VIR 2022. Let's hear it for Cary Grant, ladies and gentlemen. So, just a few years ago, we celebrated Rick Cary year in racing. Milton Grant did it about 2.
I believe it 5 years, so that was a good. How about that? And stay around and put up with what I do all the time, is kind of deal. So, but then this was also my 71st Trans Am race, I think, something like that. So it was a great race, you know. Thank you to my wife and my crew. Mike Hoover does a lot to keep my car going, and had a great race. And so I just couldn't have enough for Cary today.
Nice. And this is always kind of a friendly battle here, father and son. Cary, you got out of that car worn out. That was a crazy, hectic race. Take the mic and tell us about it.
Yeah, great race today. I had to keep my head down to try and catch Ray Mason that was in front of me, and we had a restart. I had a really good restart, and he made a mistake. It's enough for me to get by, and then was able to stay in the lead from there on out. It was a great weekend. Thanks for Trans Am. Thanks for everybody for coming out, and all our sponsors. Thank my crew chief, Larry Johnson, and Mike Hoover as well. It's a great help on my car as well. So thanks a lot.
Nice.
And to God be the glory.
Nice, and to God be the glory. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? So, third place, the missing one, he's getting towed in, Ray Mason. Milton Grant, second place. Cary Grant, first place. Nice job. All the way from Memphis, Tennessee. Cary sporting a little bit of that Tennessee orange. His brother Keith is full orange this weekend. Mid-Ohio, come on now, let's get loud. Ray Mason, Milton Grant, and Cary Grant here in Super GT Trans Am Series. All right, you guys aren't spraying, are you? No. Oh, he is. He goes. Cary's trying to get his dad. His dad just walks away. Come on now. Nice job, Cary. XGT, Extreme GT. And ladies and gentlemen, she won our SGT championship last year, moved up to Extreme GT. Unbelievable. But we're talking second place right here in that number 0. Another red Corvette out there. Where is Austin Hill? Here he is. Come on up here, Austin. Nice job. And then, like I said, last year's SGT champion, but now running XGT. Let's hear it for the 02 of Kaylee Bryson. Ladies and gentlemen, all the way from Oklahoma, Austin Hill. I know you ran with us in Trans Am. Was it last year or 2 years ago? 2 years ago, but how was your race out there?
The race is all right. First time in the car for, I guess, 2 years now. You know, we completely rebuilt it, so obviously we knew we were going to have a little bit of bugs. Didn't really get any practice or qualifying truly, but you know, throttle body went out during the race, so it ended our race. But overall, we were gaining some speed, so I think we're going to be good at Watkins Glen.
Going to be good at Watkins Glen. How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Austin Hill. Kaylee, take the mic. I saw you had to come in and out of pit lane a few times. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, that was a bit of a trial and error, but, you know, my guys, you know, worked their butts off to get us back out there. We had a cam sensor that was melting, but it was just getting way too hot in that car, and it was just melting, but guys got it fixed up. We went back out there and made some solid laps. It's been a minute since I've been in the car, so really enjoy being at the top step of this podium, really enjoy all the hard work my team puts in to give me a fast car to go out there and rip some laps.
All right, come on now. We got to get loud. We've got some engines behind us. Get loud. Austin Hill, Kaylee Bryson, Extreme GT. Josh Carlson, we miss you up here, buddy. But you're going to be with us next weekend? He'll be with us at Road America next weekend. Nice. All right, so hold those up. Let's get loud. Even you, Josh. Come on now. Get loud. Mid-Ohio, Austin Hill, Kaylee Bryson, Extreme GT. And Eric is getting some sparkling water and some champagne. Okay. Kaylee gets the champagne. Austin not quite old enough yet. But come on now, get loud. Kaylee Bryson on the top step. Austin Hill. Looks like they're not. Oh, she's just spraying it up in the air. That was very sportsmanlike. Very nice. Come on now, get loud. One more time. Kaylee Bryson, Austin Hill. There it goes, Austin. Nice job. All right. GT1, is he here? I don't see him. Looking for John DeGainer. Anybody see him? He might be on track here soon. Yeah, he's going on track. So in GT1, John DeGainer in that beautiful 04 navy blue Ron Fellows car. But now we go to TA, and this was quite a battle. I believe he won here last year in the rain. Is that correct? Where's his team? Yes, 3GT saying yes. And man, he had a crazy race. Had to come into pit lane, went off at the carousel, came back through, was the fastest car in the field pretty much. Let's hear it for the Pittsburgh Paints and Stains car of Paul Menard, 3rd place. Where is Paul? Yeah, you guys, the party's over there. You guys come on over here, Paula. Bring the party over here. Paul Menard, here you go. Yeah, we need some noise from the Menard family over here. 2nd place in Jim Weed Winner's Circle. He is back, ladies and gentlemen. He's been coming through with a tear. Let's hear it for Chris Dyson in that beautiful Jim Weed Ford Mustang. And then this happened a few years ago in 2023. I guess the Dyson crew haven't ever heard about like team orders or anything like that, because this man, unbelievable, from green flag to checker flag. Let's hear it. Matt Brabham, ladies and gentlemen, 1st place here at Jim Weed Winner's Circle. Well, Paul, about 3/4 of the way through that race, I went and talked to Tony Gentilozzi, and I said, man, he's just throwing everything at you. You came in for that early pit stop because of the grass. You were trying to get around Dreesy, but, man, you were fast the whole race. How was it for you?
Yeah, I mean, I told Matthew earlier, I think I had more fun than he did just checking out. But, yeah, I mean, the car, we changed the car a lot overnight. Had a lot of unknowns coming in, and it was super fast. I mean, we could run minute 21s. A lot throughout the race. Felt really good about the car. Hate that, you know, I guess had a little contact, went off turn 1. Then I screwed up turn 12. Had to pit 2 offs in the pit stop, and we still finished up here on the podium battling for 2nd. So hats off to my guys. They never give up. Kept pushing all day long. You know, get set back, charge forward, set back, charge forward, and that's just what we do.
I love it. I love it. How about that? Paul Menard, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there's the party. I like that. I like that. Dyson, man, crazy race. Half the race you had a Menard in your mirror wondering what in the world's going on. Crazy start. How was your race?
Well, once again, Matt, once again, Ben, I'm just so proud of the team. You know, 1-2 for us. Excellent job for the guys. Great drive by Matt. I had a lot of fun battling it out with Paul there at the end. You know, to be honest, just for me to be up and stand up after Lime Rock, you know, be here and to complete the race distance. I mean, I'm really proud of myself for getting myself together and getting fit for this. We still got a ways to go, but I think that was about the best the car had in it today, and I'm glad that we had a faster car that Matt got to drive.
Yeah, this 2025 season has been rough on Chris Dyson's body, hasn't it?
Yeah, I'd love to talk about myself in the 3rd person, but I'm actually experiencing it, and I can tell you we've taken some licks, but we're bouncing back, and I'm really proud of the guys, and I appreciate everybody at home, my family especially, for all the support. It's a challenging year, but you know, you prove to yourself how much you love this sport by how much work you're willing to do to get back in it.
Now, is this a new flavor? This is a new can. I'm not familiar with this can here, so tell me about that.
Yeah, Ben, I mean, I think everybody needs a little brain candy in their life, so this is the latest of our Jim Weed line, and they're available everywhere. We've got Circle K with us this weekend as a partner, and we're proud of how we're growing with the drink, and I want to say hi to my partners, the Picketts at home.
Nice. The Picketts at home. Greg Pickett, everybody's hero.
Yeah, no, and this is my dad Rob's birthday, 79 years young today, and yeah, I'm proud to bring home the 1-2 for him.
Nice, how about that? Happy birthday, Rob. Are we able to bring Grumby up here? We got to keep the tradition alive. Grumby, will you come up here? Come on, how about a big round of applause for Grumby?
No, he said it was good, but we're not good here.
All right, so, what's that? Oh, here we go. Come on up here, buddy. Come on, big round of applause. Grumby, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you want to hold it? Yeah, sure. Obviously, big thank you to my family, Kim, my fiance down there, and obviously my dad and Kim's dad for coming out and supporting me. Brumby here as well. Obviously, it's great to have family support. We're only a few hours from Indianapolis, and then obviously Chris Dyson. Big thanks to you. Obviously, having me back in these cars, and then the team as well, the boys and girls at Dyson Racing, gave me a fantastic car. I mean, we've really made this car fast this weekend, and it's been surprising how fast this car has been. So it's been an absolute joy to drive. Big thank you to Jim Weed. I love drinking Jim Weed before the start of the race. Keeps me nice and focused. Didn't make any mistakes out there, so appreciate that. And obviously, big thank you to all the fans. I tried to lay down some 11s. I tried to do some drifting at the end there, put on a show. And obviously, Menard was super fast there in the race and kept us all honest. So thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate it. Cheers.
That's awesome. I got distracted by the dog. I love it. All right, Mid-Ohio, we need to get loud. Hold those trophies up, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Menard with Pittsburgh Paints and Stains. Then we are at Jim Weed Winter Circle with Jim Weed, Chris Dyson, Matt Brabham. What a celebration. What an honor it is just for me to be able to say these names like this. Brabham, Menard, Dyson, Andretti. We've got some big names here in the TA Series. This is the cool shirt, the cool box, cool move of the race. These are the certificates. Hold up those certificates. It got really hot out there, so cool box is definitely going to come in handy. The iceless cooling system. Hold those up. Matthew Brabham gets $500 for cool box. How about a round of applause for cool box on such a hot day? Tomorrow is going to be even hotter. We're almost there with some champagne. Matt Brabham needs a mention. He was our MCO lap leader, obviously. Thank you to MCO for the best gearboxes. Oh, there we go. Yeah, they're all racing next weekend, and Paul Menard's going to be racing in his home state next weekend at Road America, so nobody wants to do their laundry. Dyson, nice job, man. Thanks for coming back. How about that? Ladies and gentlemen, one more time, Paul Menard, come on now. Chris Dyson, Matthew Brabham, unbelievable. But we've got another celebration. Don't go too far, because Adam Andretti is celebrating his 100th start. We just witnessed Adam Andretti's 100th start. Our very own Lee Giannone is coming up here to present the 100th trophy. And let's hear it for Adam Andretti. Come on up here, Adam. Now, Lee, being a Porsche guy, I'm sure he liked that SGT thing. Here, Lee, hold on. Let me get you the mic there.
Yep. An amazing feat, 100 starts in Trans Am. And how do you do that, Adam? That's been a long time.
You know, Lee, I've been very blessed to just be surrounded by wonderful people in this Trans Am series. Thank you to the series for having such a great series and keeping this thing strong for all these years. Since 1966, this thing's been going strong, and I'm honored to be one of the 21 drivers to hit this milestone of 100 starts. But you obviously don't do any of this stuff alone, right? And first and foremost, my wife Tabitha, without the support that you have at home, without that, you don't get one of these starts. And I've got the best support system you could ever ask for at home. My family. I even had a cousin show up that I don't get to see that often, Trevor, and he showed up, and so I got a lot of great support. But these teams too that have kept me employed in this series. ECC Motorsports brought me into this great series. I've also driven for CD Racing, and congratulations to CD Racing on another 1-2. Absolutely the class of this Trans Am field all weekend long. Awesome job. And but that's another group I've driven for. John Cloud, whose last weekend racing is this weekend, and he's given me a bunch of starts. And obviously Burton Racing, Showtime Motorsports with Ken Twaits. I can't thank these people enough, because without them, I wouldn't be standing here with you, Lee, and getting ready to accept this wonderful trophy you built for me.
Well, 100 starts is an amazing accomplishment. We're so happy that you're able to do that with us. Congratulations. Enjoy that. It's great having you here.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
How about that, ladies and gentlemen? Sorry, Adam. Come on now, get loud. Adam Andretti, 100 starts with our CEO, Lee Giannone, out here. Unbelievable here. The Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli will be back for the Cube 3 TA2 Series tomorrow. I'm going to send it back to you in the booth, Ralph.
All right, Ben. Yeah, you'll be able to see the Q3 Architecture TA2 race tomorrow live right here on Speed Sport 1 at 1 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. And then later today, we have an encore of the SVRA action from Indianapolis last weekend at 3 p.m. Eastern, and an encore of today's Trans Am race airing tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. So a lot of great action still coming your way here today on Speed Sport 1. But we're not done here in Mid-Ohio yet. Stay with us. We'll be right back for a little bit more after this.
In racing, every second counts. Communication isn't just important, it's everything. Established in 1996 in Daytona Beach, Florida, Speedcom Communications was born from a passion for racing and a vision to revolutionize motorsports communication. Trusted by competitors across the world.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 140 mile an hour entry speed.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
Back here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, you can see the cars are leaving the Jim Weed Winner's Circle as we get ready for TA2 qualifying coming up in the TA2 race tomorrow here live on Speed Sport 1. But Andy, let's talk a little bit about this race here today. Chaotic start, but boy, it provided some great storylines throughout the 100 miles.
It did. We saw the rubber banding through the field of Paul Menard, who again, like we said, went from the front row all the way back through the field again, repeated the process after a mistake going big deep on the aggressive side into the carousel, the final corner here, and then rebounded again, got a lucky yellow, but we re-racked him, sent him through the field, and that put his podium charge up, and he got that, and that's going to really extend that points lead in his championship and his focus on that 2025 repeat of a Trans Am championship.
Let's spin it forward a little bit now, because next week, in just a few days, these rigs are all going to be rolling in to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin at Road America. Much different racetrack than what we had here today.
Our next three circuits, Road America, Watkins Glen, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park, they are fast, and these are going to really, this is a different level of racetrack here. These top speeds are going to be super high. The racing is going to be amazing. We're getting racing amazing all across the board, from our slightest, slowest, tightest tracks to our fastest, but these next few, this is the speed. Next week at Road America, some of the longest straightaways we have, some of the highest top speeds we have. We've got some amazing action in store.
Then we're going to close out the year at VIR, Virginia International Raceway, Barber, and Circuit of the Americas. So tell me a little bit about your thoughts as you take a look at that portion of the calendar.
VIR, super iconic. The S's is the best built S's on the planet.
Yes.
You know, the back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Super challenging, almost fully flat in a Trans Am car. I think they are flat in a TA2 car. Big elevation change. You jump the front end over that second hump there. Really cool. Barber Motorsports Park, We haven't been there in Trans Am, and that tight, twisty circuit, very wide, built really for motorcycle racing.
Yeah.
Great for touring car racing. We'll see how our big high horsepower Trans Am cars do before we then go to Circuit of Americas that hosts every kind of racing on the planet.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild run to the end of the season, but as you look at it with 6 more events to go, we still got a lot of racing yet to do, and as aggressive as these guys have been, anything's a possibility.
We are just 6 races into the season, so halfway point in the season. We've got a whole nother back half of this season to go. We've seen so much of an up and down in our points, both in the TA and TA2, SGT, GT, XGT, everything across the board has been all over the place, and it'll be really interesting to see what the second half of the season has in store for us.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a reservation set for Seepkins?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's go.
That's the go-to spot at Road America. If you haven't been there before, we highly recommend it. I'm sure you'll see Handy and I in there a couple of times this next weekend. Well, for now, things are closing out here at Mid-Ohio after a chaotic and exciting Trans Am Series by Pirelli race, where we saw Matt Brabham leading every lap. A tremendous battle for second behind him. I don't think anybody's cars are really tore up too bad today, Andy. I think most of the guys will be able to fix these cars fairly easily and get ready for Road America.
I think they all got a scare, but I think when we really do break it down, I think Adam probably has the most work to do. Claudio Burton and those guys probably have a lot to look into when it comes to making sure that engine is right. Maybe Paul Menard's crew too. That engine saw a lot of heat. That engine saw a lot of dust and a big battle there. So these guys will be taking preventative measures to getting this right. But I'm sure they're going to unload at Road America with everything in line, ready to go.
Yeah, and they're going to need a tremendous amount of power next week at Road America for sure. So don't forget, a lot of great stuff coming your way yet here on Speed Sport 1 today. Coming up in just a little bit will be SVRA from Indy, 3 p.m. Eastern. Then the encore of today's race here on Speed Sport 1 at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then tomorrow, the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 race live from Mid-Ohio, 1 p.m. Eastern right here on Speed Sport 1. For Ben Sissel, Thomas Annunziata, and Andy Lally, I'm Ralph Sheheen. So long from Mid-Ohio. Congratulations, Matty Brabs.